Good afternoon and welcome to Amy Stadium for the Adelaide Crows' first home game of season 2008. Each game this year has a theme, and today's is Welcome Back Footy Barbecue. Now, all Adelaide Crows members have been encouraged to embrace this terrific tradition here at Amy, where you come along early, find a good spot, fire up the barbie, have a snag and maybe a glass of wine and build up towards the crescendo of the opening bounce. They'll need to be in good voice today. Last week they were agonisingly close against the Western Bulldogs, and today, well, they don't want to start the season with 2 losses. Much has been said about their recent poor performances against the West Coast Eagles, in particular at this ground. In fact, the Crows haven't beaten the Eagles at home since the final series in 2003. Today I'll be joined in commentary by Tony Shaw and Gerard Healy, and Gerard, the Adelaide Crows will be looking to buck that recent trend.
Yes, and to do so, Matthew, Neil Craig's going to have to unravel a recent West Coast tradition, and that is the dominance of both Kerr and particularly Big Cox in the middle of the ground, where you used to annoy everybody, Shorey. Welcome.
Well, I did, Gerard, and I think no doubt Neil Craig has to do that to Dean Cox. And the way I think he's going to do it, every centre bounce, once he gets loose, he's got to put a man and make sure that they tag him out of the game. Might be Nathan Bock, might even be the smaller Chris Massey today.
Who's come into the side, so no free kicks around the half-back line.
No, he's got to make sure that every time that he comes from this centre circle, someone's going to run with him for the whole game.
And what about Daniel Kerr?
Well, Daniel Kerr, I think he's got to go back to some of his more senior players who he can trust and try and kick some goals on him. Tyson Edwards, Simon Goodwin, maybe rotate every half of the quarter on Daniel Kerr because he's too good for just one out. See if he can kick some goals on him and be offensive.
Well, that's the thoughts of former Collingwood coach in Tony Shaw. For the thoughts of today's coaches, let's go to Rowan Smith, who began with Neil Craig and asked him how he thought about last week's loss.
Well, Neil, a little bit unlucky last week. Could have went either way for you.
Yeah, well, in the end, you know, you make your own luck, I guess, to a certain extent. I mean, there's some things that happen in the game, Rowan, that when you review it, you know, you sort of said the ball bounced there, and that goes for both sides. And in those sort of games, it can come down to a bit of that. But, you know, one stage they were a couple of goals out of it, then they got back in front, and we were 10 points with 90 seconds to go, and nearly pinched it. So it was a great game of footy, and in the end, the Western Bulldogs a bit too good for us.
Playing the West Coast Eagles today, they've lost the last 5 against them. They're going to be a little bit of a hard team again for you today. Yeah, they will. They're obviously in good form and still got a very good nucleus of players, and you know, with Kerr and Cox in very good form early in the year. But we front up to it and we'll give it our best shot, and you know, we're very keen to get a win at home and to start the ball rolling back the other direction for us in terms of between the 2 clubs. So our guys are certainly looking forward to it. Neil, thanks for your time. Good luck today. Thanks, Rowan. Good. Your midfield had a lot of rotations through last week, but they were outstanding, weren't they?
Yeah, again, we've got, we believe, still very good depth through our midfield, and, you know, we've added a couple of young guys that we think are going to add to that, certainly today, but for a long period for our club.
A famous South Australian name making his debut for you guys today as well.
Yeah, Brad's been outstanding in his preparation this year, as is Chris Marston, so, you know, we're very excited about them starting their careers.
How will you look to get on top of the Adelaide Crows today, do you think?
Really through our hard work, hard run, hopefully a bit better use of the ball more consistently through the game, and that should create scoring opportunities.
Thanks for your time. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Well, they're the thoughts of both coaches. Sure, you haven't stopped grinning since you had the shirt in your hand in the middle. But let's take a look at the teams, both of whom have made a couple of changes. The Eagles bringing in 2 first-gamers in Chris Maston and Brad Ebert, replacing Lacroix and Rosa. And the Crows, well, they've reintroduced Jericho and Massey after 2 major midfield outs, Riley and Shirley.
Well, let's have a look at the backs. And as we can see, Seaby and Lynch, I think the West Coast Eagles might try and stretch the Adelaide Crows defence, but I think that suits Bassett and Rutten. They wouldn't like to small, nippy types in that area, Gerard. And we see there Nathan Bock might have the big job on Hansen. And Massey, who was brought in the side today, will he run with Dean Cox, as I said, be prior to the game?
Or pick up Stoker across that half-back line. Edwards and Kerr is the one you like. I think Van Berlo's another option for Kerr. McKay is just a young man who's making a statement. And, well, Emily, after quite one last week, will be looking to get his hands on the footy. Cox, it's a big name. And young Griffin, it's a daunting task for him. He'll need some help. Fletcher's made an impressive start to his season. I think Stengline and Thompson could also, if they line up together, be an important battle.
Well, we go to the half-forward line, and, gee, I think just some of these matchups, McLeod and Goodwin, love to see them across half-forward because I think they need to kick more goals as midfielders, and they did last week, so that was a good sign for Neil Craig. And then we see young Tippett up against, well, All-Australian Darren Glass. Whether that's going to the way it's going to see, we'll have to wait and see. Paul Pleasure, some of his clearance work last week was just unbelievable. The interchanges, Jericho, Vince, very good play. Ken McGregor could be on half-forward flank, could play, sorry, centre-half forward, could play at centre-half back.
And the interchange for the Eagles, well, there he is, young Ebert. First game in along with Chris Maston. Graham obviously can play back, and Prittis will be the first rotation. As the Eagles come out onto the ground, their captain Darren Glass, successful 100% record for the Eagles captain in their 500th game. Matthew, as we throw to you, the crowd a little bit slow in building up, but that staggers me to a degree because this is one of the most exciting teams in the competition to come and observe. And the Crows, well, they need every little bit of support they can get after the loss last week in very close circumstances.
Yes, almost pinched the game, but yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, Jared, being out in the car park as we saw. They really should be a little bit more pumped about this first home game, and they want their side to do much better than they did last season.
Time for a break here from AMI Stadium. We'll come back, catch up with Rowan Smith, and ready ourselves for the opening bounce, and hopefully that man hasn't partaken too much in the festivities outside.
I like guys who have a little bit fat, a little bit hairy back. I like guys who watch a lot of football and go out with the boys. This is good thing. If I not get flowers, I'm not like, oh, por me, I not get flowers. This is so silly. I know they sometimes go to the striptease, but it's okay. I'm not jealous. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, I don't care.
The girlfriend. Jim Beam. The bourbon.
Here's to the next generation. A new breed of Eagles. Here's to the fast learners. And the frequent flyers.
Ruckman, kicking lace out, left and right foot.
Pushing harder and aiming higher.
Make no mistake, this team wants to create its own history. They know where they're going.
Saturday night AFL. Freo step in the ring with the #1 contender. As the top of the ladder Hawks size up Subi. Don't you love him? Fremantle Hawthorn, 7:30 tonight, live on Fox Sports 1.
Tonight, Fox Sports wraps up an amazing Australian event. The Olympic team swimming trials come to a close with one final night of incredible action. See Grant Hackett in the 1,500 metres and be there as Australia's swim team for Beijing is announced.
Oh my goodness.
The Olympic team swimming trials conclude tonight on Fox Sports 3.
Toss of the coin here at AMI Stadium. Darren Glass with Simon Goodwin. And it's going to be a very interesting start to this match. Will Adelaide get going early? Well, they've won the toss and they'll be kicking to the left of screen. As we've seen, it is barbecue day here at AMI Stadium, down at ground level. Rowan Smith. Rowan, is it hot and spicy? Is it firing up at ground level?
Well, actually, quite. They might be still outside cooking their barbecues because there's a lot of empty seats out here, and they're a little bit hesitant on how the Crows are going to go this year. A little bit quiet. The people are going to try and pump themselves up, but they're a little bit quiet here down here at ground level, Matty.
I noticed that myself, talking to a lot of Adelaide people. I think they undersell their own side. Not many tipping a win here, and I guess they've got history on their side, the Doomsays, because, as you said at the opener, Matt, they haven't won here, the Crows, against the Eagles since 2003. But this is a major challenge, and it'll be the senior players, Tyson Edwards and Nathan Bassett, and the likes of Andrew McLeod, etc., that'll have to lead from the front.
Well, their losing score last week was a better score than they kicked in all of season 2007. It was at the defensive end, Tony, where they had problems, which is unusual for Adelaide.
Well, they did struggle in that area, but I love to see that they kick 18 goals. I'll tell you what, Matt, if they kick 18 goals in most games, they'll win 80% of the game. So there you go. They'll play finals if they get to that level.
Adam Selwood looks like he's on Burton, and Tippett, well, he's got the All-Australian full-back on his heels.
Eagles and Crows. And they're flying now out of the bounce. Fletcher trying to get through. First clearance, though, for West Coast. Nikoski. Back to Fletcher. Here's Kerr, involved early. Out to Staker. Can loop over the top and does so. Jones into the pocket. Hanson the target. Bot right with him. We heard the umpire's call, just playing it on, and he switches to Bassett in turn to John Cock.
Well, the early going shows that Neil Craig has said, let's take them on. No one running at this stage with Daniel Kerr. It may well be Doughty, but there's no one side by side with Kerr, and he's already had the first laugh with the early possession.
Rutten goes back to Bock. Now his option is just Thompson, and he takes it. Right on defensive 50, chips back through the middle. Burton a long way from home. And Adelaide, well, they might not be going defensive through their matchups, Jared, but they're certainly a little bit hesitant to run it out of their defensive 50 at the moment. Showing some patience as McLeod gets it over to Symes. Bassett linking up with McLeod. This is better. Andrew McLeod, beautiful pass. And I liked it better when Goodwin went forward for Adelaide last week. I know Neil Craig talked about getting him back through the midfield, Tony, but to me, he's their better option out of their premium midfielders to go forward.
I think they have to do it. Tyson Edwards has started up there also. If they average 3 goals between those two players, it's 60-odd goals a year. That's a lot better than the last few seasons.
Goodwin to open the account for the Adelaide Crows. He's hooked it, and we've just got a behind for the skipper.
Well, Nikoski is running with Andrew McLeod at this stage. And he'll want to do a little bit better than that early one because he's in a forward position, but he's very much in a defensive role.
This is Waters for the Eagles to Fletcher. Around the outer side, in his target is Staker. Couldn't quite take the half volley, boundary throwing. Massey with him.
Well, Bassett, I thought Rutten might have gone to Lynch, Quinton Lynch early, but it's Rutten on Seavey and Bassett on Lynch.
McGregor starting on the bench this week. It was Tippett last week. This is Van Berlo. Inside the forward 50, Tippett.
Gee, I'd like to look at Kurt Tippett. No doubt he's going to be a mobile ruckman of the future, but this is what I liked about him last week, Matty. When he went forward, he just picks up the space so well, and just to pick up the flow of play, that's hard for a ruckman come key position forward, but look at that.
Jeez, he's got some talent.
Has he got some talent and athleticism?
2 goals on debut last week. Kurt Tippett, the Queenslander from 45, when he kicks it. Right behind him on the reverse angle. Tippett kicks a goal. Lovely start for the young man.
Just what they needed, the Adelaide Crows. McLeod coming off half-back, giving it to Goodwin. Missed the goal, so rather than going down, and once again we see Kerr getting plenty of possession. That one, not one of his best. Outstanding Van Berlo there, just turning that ball over. But I think when you miss one from your skipper early, it's just great to get the confidence going by responding. And one of the big names in the business potentially down the track, Kurt Tippett, he gets them on the board. Good start.
Promising start by the Adelaide Crows, and there's a promising future there with Tippett. Just the 6 disposals last week, but managed the 2 goals as we mentioned. 7 plays nil at the moment. Back in the middle, Cox coming through Doughty. Fletcher, no clean possession. Likewise going in over the top was Griffin.
Well, clearly Neil Craig was watching the opener, Shorey, because he's not tagging Daniel Kerr and no one's running with Dean Cox.
Cox has gone head-to-head. Big ask for these 2 young ruckmen, though.
Over the top.
Now Doughty actually has gone side by side with Kerr. He was kick chasing early in the piece, and well, already Kerr has got a couple of possessions.
Plenty of matchups here around the centre circle for a secondary ball up, and Cox trying to get it towards Stengline. Plenty of Crows in there. Doughty in over the top. And we'll go again.
The umpire.
He's not omnipresent. We've worked that out.
If you miss it, you get the excuse right there. I can't be everywhere.
Yeah. That's why there's 3 out there as Cox taps it over towards Braun. Paul Pleasure, who was excellent last week against the Dogs. Gave it over to Symes. Here's a chance for a good one. Wrapped up nicely. Beautiful tackle. Selwood was there. Rewarded. Vantage play. Braun trying to keep it alive for the West Coast Eagles. Doughty comes in and lays a good tackle himself. Kerr burrowing in. Cops one across the head. Paul Pleasure in and under. Getting a bit tough and tight now.
See Daniel Kerr. Bit of friendly fire from Ashley Hanson then, but they've got eyes for the ball only. And you can see Braun getting up there. And Daniel Kerr just caught one on the fire from Paul. Just prior to that it was Hanson, then it was Paul Pleasure.
Over the top came Symes, and Doughty punches it out, but Hunter roves it for West Coast. Target was Hanson, spilling forward. McLeod mopping up for Adelaide. Uses John Cock, gets a good shepherd. Releases now. Symes running hard to the wing, the former Port Adelaide player. Knows this ground. John Cock, support is good. The hands to Thompson, who was pretty quiet last week. He's a damaging player.
Gone.
Oh. Terrible handball, though.
Free kick, didn't have it. Good decision by the umpire. There's some concerns here for John Morsfold. The Crows are up and running early in the piece. They're building some confidence. I think their forward line need to just apply a bit more pressure. High ball from Doughty. Tough one to mark. Underneath it, Jones. Now there's a free kick. Paul Pleasure gets the free kick for a push in the back. And Jason Paul Pleasure, 25 disposals last week. He is a goal kicker. He'll line up for the Crows second.
Well,
Jared, they're the push out.
You would know this, man. Greg Williams, I think Paul Pleasure is fantastic with his hands, and I'm not saying he's going to get to the level of a Greg Williams, but his likeness to that person, getting underneath. And one thing he can do, he can go forward and mark above his head better than people give him credit for.
He likes a goal. This is a really important one. I think if he kicks this, John Worsfold may have to just go into shutdown tactics for 5 minutes or so, because they have got the momentum. Bangs it through for the second for the Adelaide Crows. Paul Pleasure, 28th game, 26th goal. I like the boy. I think he's a terrific young player. And Jared, we talked about momentum. You talked about the feeling of lack of confidence. They've started the better of the two. Certainly more confidence within the team than outside at this stage. But their aggression at the man who, when they haven't got the footy, sure, he's been absolutely outstanding. They have tackled pretty hard and they've run hard for defence to establish themselves a couple of goal lead early. Rewarded with a spell, Jason Paul Pleasure. McGregor comes on for him. Crows 2-1. West Coast yet to score. Cox trying to flick it out the back this time. Doughty wanted the free kick. Didn't get it. Jericho the fumble. But the free kick is going back to Doughty after he released, was pushed in the back. Switching quickly to Bock. They've got some run out of their back half at the moment, Adelaide, through Bock and John Cock and McLeod. Lovely pass to Burton. Good match-up on Jones. Wheels around quickly. Goodwin in the pocket. Cox roving. Goodwin got there first. Kept it alive for Adelaide, but it's pinched by Jones. It ends up back with Hearn on the right boot, keeping it low, just trying to find some space. Bassett gets back first for Adelaide. To Jericho, again to John Cock. Everybody working harder at the moment for the Crow. The half-back line is dominant at the moment as John Cock at the pass to Goodwin. He's outside 50. He's going to play on. He's pushed it out left. It's a long kick. He might have gone back and kicked that from the set shot. He might have got there, Tony. Yeah, he didn't take his time. One thing about good midfielders, they can find space in a telephone box, and that's what Simon Goodwin can do up forward. Bassett, John Cock and McLeod, 11 disposals coming off the half-back line for Adelaide already. This is Fletcher. I don't like a totally negating player playing on McLeod. I think you've got to try and kick goals on him. I know it's hard, but Nikoski, you wouldn't want to have that task. Waters finds Embley. Haven't looked like scoring yet, West Coast. Hanson, long lead.
I made it, please. Thank you.
Just down on the boundary line, Rowan, that wind, as we see the big cue stick pick up his first mark.
Yeah, not much, Jared, to talk about, really. It's not favouring either end at all.
Lynch. He can kick it a long way, but this is beyond him. He heads for the square. Seaby the target. Cox also there. Seaby from behind.
Oh.
Holding. You heard the umpire?
Well, this is the problem in the Jared. A young kid with not the body size of Cox, and no doubt Johnny Worsfold. I thought maybe even Cox might have been holding him over his shoulder. Got front position, hard body to get around when you're just starting the game. I think it's Griffin was playing on him then, was it?
Might have even been Rutten, Shuri, but we'll take a look at the replay. This is the most important kick.
Cox for the first score for the West Coast Eagles. The big man doesn't miss many. He's polished.
Well, he can do it all, Dean Cox, and you'd be staggered if he didn't pick up a Brownlow medal down the track. He is the most dominant ruckman in the game and has been for some years. And here's the free kick. It was against Griffin. Shuri absolutely spot on, with Seaby being taken by Rutten, and well guarded there. But Seaby still got to the front. But the free kick against the young kid was there, and it was a pretty fair decision, I think, by the umpires. And a goal that the Eagles desperately needed for the man who can do it all.
Perfect record for Dean Cox so far. 1 kick, 1 goal. And he's back in the action now. West Coast on the board. They trail by 8 points. Cox was looking for Prittis. Coming in quickly, Douglas. Slipped it to Thompson. Inside forward 50. Adelaide need a crummer. Goodwin. Beautiful handball to Vince. Around the corner, Bernie Vince. And they answer quickly, the Crows.
Oh, Simon Goodwin, he's having just a stellar 5 minutes in this game. He's leading up. He's had a kicks at goal, taken a couple of marks. But look at the hands here. He's underneath the pack. Strong body work and gets the ball out to Vince's hand. Great snap, but Simon Goodwin, I still say good midfielders. I think too many times they're taken off the ground in these rotations instead of giving him 4 or 5 minutes as a forward to test out the opposition to see if they can get a match-up.
Bernie Vince, the goal kicker, but the assist well and truly to Simon Goodwin with a magnificent handball, puts the Crows back out to a 14-point margin. Just his 3rd goal in his short career, Vince. Prittis missed it. Jericho just trying to force it forward for Adelaide, hoping something or someone is on the end of it. Doubt he was there for a minute. Hunter in some trouble to Jones. That's Ebert, who's now on the ground for his first possession. Untidy kick from Hearn. Waters slips around Scott Thompson and heads up towards Braun country. Vince got in the way. Fletcher read it best off hands. Braun got up quickly. They share it. He's got some time and space. On the lead, too far for Seaby. Again, McLeod to clean up. Bassett wants John Cock. Puts him under a bit of pressure, though. We'll have a rush behind there.
I think Ben Rutten, last week Adelaide Crows were shown up early. The opposition played some smaller forwards and quicker forwards.
Well, they played on quickly here. It ends up with McKay out to the wing. High ball should suit the defenders, it does. Waters got in over the top of Douglas. Ebert goes without it.
Oh.
Edwards chipping in. Likewise Ebert. It comes back to Cox. The Eagles share it. Stenglein. Prittis. Wants Lynch. Bang. Hits it long. 2-on-1 Adelaide. 1 wins Nikoski. Hands in the back surely.
Yes, no doubt about that. You've got to use your forearms and still can't have a pushing action when you do it.
Bassett. Pretty quiet last week. He started very well today. Massey. Holding up. Waiting for options. Back to Nathan Bock. They work it round the switch. Rutten to Jericho. Important year for Jericho. If he wants to make it, this is it. The time is now.
Chris Marston on the ground. He's on Graham Johncock at the moment, and he's going to have to be super defensive. Johncock's had 4 handball receives already. He is setting them up and becoming the first attacking player from defence for Adelaide at the moment.
Well, Bassett just held onto it forever because all the Eagle players had got back, and in the end he's kicked it out of bounds, so not pretty.
Well, the other end of the ground, Nikoski looked as if he was going to be given a shot at goal, but there was just a nice little touch there, and that is illegal in this day and age. In fact, it was illegal in any day and age, but was never paid. But it was a free kick.
Stemmed line. Got it from Prittis.
Nathan Bassett also the other player across that half-back line for Adelaide. 7 possessions.
Cox, good smother. What can Adelaide do here? Stevens shrugs off Cox, but again they go back. Bott needs a runner, gets it in McLeod. Can take it and go. Heads inside 50, want a good one again. Kerr's got back to help out. He does so. The 1-2 is Sengline. Lovely tackle by Douglas. Adelaide putting the pressure on here, trying to force the turnover. Prittis just hacks it out towards Embley. Right with him, Messi. Great work by Adelaide.
Yeah, locals, sure, they are filthy that there wasn't a free kick paid for this disposal.
Well, that's prior opportunity, and people say it's knocked out in the contest. I think that is holding the ball, Jarrett.
Spot on.
Prittis in over the top. Stolen, though, by Paul Pleasure. Embley, he can't get free anywhere at the moment. Paul Pleasure again. Bundles even out of the way. Here go Adelaide. Paul Pleasure with his 3rd effort. Inside 50. Burton the target. Getting through Hunter. The hands to Braun. He gets it back. Got nowhere to go, though. Cox. Rutten right with him. Again, Adelaide. Pressuring the ball carrier. This time Hunter. Well, he's found a couple of options here. Marston gets the 1-2 from Embley. This for his first goal in his first game. And he won't remember his first shot on goal. Well, let's hope he doesn't, because he's kicked it out on the full.
It looked as if Ben Rutten was following Big Cox there up the ground. He's gone to the bench now, has Dean Cox. Kerr also off, so with a couple there A-graders off the ground, an opportunity for the Crows to really put the foot down and create a decent lead to quarter time.
McKay gave it to Massey. Burton springs over the top. It falls for Johncock. In reverse, Adelaide. Massey looks up, finds Paul Pleasure. Throws it on the boot quickly. It tumbles forward towards McGregor. There's holding, and it'll be Ken McGregor with a shot on goal.
No, I think it's
Simon Goodwin.
Simon Goodwin. Gee, I tell you, he's become a problem, Jared, hasn't he? It's not a key position player, and it's Selwood's got that job. They're going to have to make a change, because Goodwin is just getting his body in front, and Selwood hasn't got the strength to go with him. That's the 3rd time in a marking contest that he's been beaten, so might have to look at making a change there quickly, Johnny Worsfold.
I think the players have got to just work out that the umpires are going to be ruthless in any untoward body contact in a marking contest. I mean, it's been on display for 8 games last week, and so far 1.5 this week.
Goodwin has 2 behinds. He's trying to turn that around, and he has.
What about Shannon Hearn, Jared? Strong body, he's quick. Goodwin gets on the lead, but I think he might just suit the occasion. You can see a trend happening already, and it's only early in the first quarter. You know, so I think you just make the change and try and get a different matchup for Selwood.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd change it, Shuri, but the message has got to go through that you either take that front position, you've got to keep your hands off the back, and that'll be good practice there.
The captain leading from the front for the Adelaide Crows, 1 goal, 2. The margin out to 19 points. Still 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter. CB on hands and knees. Ebert diving is Nikoski and accepting it. Thought about where Punda. He has a very long leg, Nikoski, but he kicks it high. Big spoil. Adelaide saw it coming. It was Thompson in the right spot. Massey feeding Johncock.
Gee, he's brought his own ball today, yes. Graham Johncock.
6th disposal, but he's had so much time and space, hasn't he? Ebert holding the ball.
Just being sharp at the moment. The Crows are on the march.
Tackling is good from Adelaide as we see Ebert wrapped up by Van Berlo. Back with the action, it's Burton. It spills over the back for the Birdman. Needs a kind bounce, gets it, and bangs through the 5th for Adelaide.
Well, that man again at half-forward, Simon Goodwin. I don't care, Jared. Make the change now. It just means that they're getting momentum. And you're right with Cox and Kerr on the bench. Embley's been there too. They're just really working hard at the Adelaide Crows, getting there in numbers. They're just controlling the ball and the tempo of the game. And that man there, he's had a fantastic first quarter. Oh, no, used his body well then, I think, Brett Burton. No hands involved there. Good decision by the umpire.
25-point margin down on the boundary, Rowan Smith.
Well, Daniel Kerr's come to the boundary. He's just had some work done on his right hamstring. It's interesting to see. I interviewed him after the game last week. He said he was still sore, and he's handballing a lot again today, so I'm still sure he's a little bit underdone.
Did leave the training track early as well, so trying to some maintenance, but that was Ebert kicking it forward towards Lynch. Oh, well done, Rutten. This is the Adelaide defence we know. They're helping out as McLeod drives them forward once again. Where's Goodwin? This time a yard behind, but he almost pinched it back. And the barbecue crowd are pumping now, Jared.
Oh, they've come in, haven't they, Matty? They were slow getting in here, Jared. They've turned up in numbers now.
What was dominating out there, Matthew? Was it the brown, the red or the white?
The brown.
Geez, they were into it early. We got here about 11 o'clock and the faithful were already here. I'm not sure they sensed this, though, because this is certainly a turnaround on what most people had predicted in the crowd, where they thought that the locks of Kerr, etc., were going to dominate.
So
free kick. Sorry, Tony.
It's going to be hard for the Adelaide Crows to beat the theme of the week with barbecue week, though.
Long way to go. Seavey going back to Waters. Switching play. Graham started on the bench. Embley. Short. Selwood. And then we're back where we started with Seavey.
It's the first time we've actually seen the Eagles slow the tempo down a bit. Maybe they could have done this 5 or 6 minutes ago just to get control, because it's pretty clear that they were smoking the Adelaide Crows. I think it's a fair point just to have a look at rotations. As much as you want to get your guys on and off, I reckon you would be hesitant to get Embley, Kerr and Cox
at the one time
off the ground at the one time.
Bassett cleaning up for Adelaide towards Jericho, just keeps it in. Van Berlo to Jericho again. Here's John Cock.
Right, this man, he has no one that's even gone to Graham John Cock.
And provided another shepherd after the release. Jericho, but Gregor in the best spot. Too easy for Adelaide up forward. All sorts of options. He wheels around quickly. Has he got enough on the kick? He did. Wrong side of the post. Adelaide, 8 scoring shots to the West Coast Eagles 2. They're in trouble coming out of their defensive 50. Fletcher misses his target. Glass under the pump. Again, sloppy. Jones, what can Burton do? Oh, he's almost given it back to Goodwin.
Let it bounce the other way. It's a soda.
I'm just looking behind play. Graham John Cock has had 7 possessions and he has not got a man across. Now he's on the wing. Someone's got to go to him or make you take him back to the goal square.
West Coast on the break now. Found McLeod as if he was a premium forward. And there is one in Burton. Chipping over the top. McGregor into space. Got it. Easy as you like.
Well, I think they just got to shut it down. The Eagles had hoped that the siren goes pretty quickly. Still 3.5 minutes of play remaining. This one goes through. It's a very sizable lead. Ken McGregor's no slouch at kicking goals.
Kicked a couple last week. In fact, he's averaging 2 a game in his last 10. He got one from outside 50 against the Bulldogs.
Oh.
It's close. It's right on the line. It's Dean Cox. Short. Graham.
Back that meter, Tyson, back a meter, play on.
Kerr just peeling off.
Adelaide wouldn't mind that. Adelaide wouldn't mind Daniel Kerr getting the ball on the full back line.
And they've made some changes here to get all their runners out. Seaby's off the ground. Quentin Lynch is off the ground. Embley's gone to full forward to try and just change the mix in. And here's the bloke who can kick it a country.
From 60 metres, he tumbles it forward. We're Punda waiting at the back. Lovely pick-up. John Cott to McLeod. Again, it's to Rutten. It's a procession from the Adelaide Crows back 6 at the moment. McKay getting involved. High ball. Wants Thompson one-on-one with Fletcher. He backed him in to beat him. Fletcher almost non-existent in the contest. Thompson, though, has run himself into a bit of a hole. Massey. Van Berlo. Could have used McKay. Went without him. Took his time. Got it forward, though. Over the back, Tippett. Here's Burton. Tippett winning the lender hand. Wants to be careful. We'll have a ball up.
What have these three men got in common, Shorey? Because they've had the most possessions. McLeod, Bassett and John Cock.
They're all defenders. They all play in the back half, and I'm just trying to... McLeod has got Nikoski, and John
10.
Cock's gone to Wirrapunda now. Wirrapunda has not touched the ball.
And Bassett's at 8.
Darren Glass is shepherding for Adelaide.
Oh, boy.
They are working harder. They're making their own luck. They're getting plenty of support from each other. They're flying off that half-back line. And right now, the Eagles are just so far under the pump. I think they've just gone into their shell. They're making decisions as individuals rather than as a team.
Was this miscommunication about who was going for the ruck? Because I think Tippett was down there, and you think he might go for it, but what happened, he was shepherded off the ball by his defender.
Griffin was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, so you didn't know who they were going to go to, who was taking the ruck. Well done, the Adelaide Crows.
Tippett for his second to put Adelaide well in front with 2 minutes remaining. Margin now out to 33 points.
Plenty of holding in the ruck. Not sure how they pay that, but the umpire there says that they're shepherding by Glass off the footy top of the screen.
I like that, Jared. You would have been there a lot of times, taggers who turn their back on the play.
Mongrels.
The mongrels. But just the way that you take, if you turn your back on play and you hold or make contact, I think that should be a free kick every time. Great decision.
Nice start for Tippett in AFL football. He's finding it comfortable at the moment, as are the Adelaide Crows. 33 points, 2 minutes remaining. They're not done with yet in this first quarter.
Just wonder whether Johnny Worsfold for a couple of players behind the ball trying to stem the tide for a while.
Doughty wrapping up Kerr. Adelaide are content with the secondary ball up. We have a free kick, though. Underneath all of that was Kerr, and he takes the kick. Now Cox peels off for him, and he'll be used. Goes over the top with hands. Brett Jones to the goal square. No one really there for the West Coast. Rutten in best position. We're Punda with his first kick of the day. It's a gem.
Well, I think you described it perfectly. It was an absolute gem. It was a bit of intuitive magic. It was a smart kick by Kerr to get it out to Cox to just open them up. They haven't come this side of the park at any stage today. Maybe a little bit of a free kick against Seaby, hands in the back, but not paid. And a nice little dribbler by David Wirapunda, who has yet to find the footy before that.
A long time coming for David Wirapunda to finally get on the score. But what is 13th season of AFL footy? Been around a long time.
Recruited as a 17-year-old.
Yep. Still just 28. Thompson to Symes. He breaks to the outer wing.
Not sure my maths was any good.
I think we're 2 years short there.
16 he started.
Okay.
Okay.
But he was recruited, many times in his first couple of years. Block. Finding Jericho, who slides into it. Still time for Adelaide for another one.
Speaking of 16 or 17-year-olds, I believe that the Eagles have got a young kid at Swan Districts called Knott that's going to be a sensational young player.
Well, Ebert out there at the moment. He turns 18 next week. Here's Embley. Gets it back from Fletcher.
No one to kick to.
Once the boundary, can it spin his way?
Can Bok keep it in for Adelaide because they will go back through the middle. There's the hook around the body. Rutten, left unguarded, can go further right. He's just going to run it. He's told to run on by Massey.
Well, Embley's pushed back, so Rutten's free. Embley's actually full forward for the Eagles, and he's the closest man to their defensive square.
And here they go again. McLeod and John Cock.
Just trying to hold it up.
To Bassett.
So they've got to attack. They might as well just have a crack here because the Eagles are shut down mode.
Goodwin presents.
Was Johnny Worsfold going to put some numbers behind the ball? Well, he's put the 18 behind the ball.
Is he going for the torpedo? No, he's line. Drop punt. Whistle. edged out Hunter. Siren sounds. Adelaide have come to play here at their home ground the first time for the year. They have been superb in this first quarter.
We might get Rowan Smith to venture out to the middle of the ground. I suspect there's just a 1 or 2 goal advantage here, so maybe not as bad as that scoreboard would see, but the work rate it was clear for all of us that could view this match to just assess that the Crows were here to play. They've worked hard. Graham, Johncock and McLeod have led from the back, if that makes sense. And we'll come back to see how the Crows, the Eagles, can respond in the second quarter.
I know they sometimes go to the striptease, but it's okay. I'm not jealous.
The Girlfriend. Jim Beam. The Bourbon.
It's Toyota-thon time with massive discounts across the Toyota range. For 1 month only, you don't have to buy a whole fleet of Toyotas to get big business Gold Fleet pricing. Everyone gets big business discounts on all new Toyotas built before January 08. Every vehicle with this red spot offers huge savings. Toyota-thon only happens once a year, so buy before March 31 and save. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
The guys have been out in this extreme heat for nearly 2 hours, and it's down to this. Golden goal, extra time.
Hydration can mean the difference between winning and losing. Powerade Isotonic hydrates and energizes you fast. It's scientifically proven to help you perform at your peak longer.
Dwyer. It's in! The Aussies are gold medalists in Athens. If you're at home and you're not standing, stand up and cheer.
Powerade, hydrating the Australian Olympic team.
We do have a confirmed copy that black SUV. We don't have a visual.
Introducing the all-new Dodge Nitro. Careful, it's Nitro Active.
This weekend, Barclays Premier League, live on Fox Sports. And he has given Arsenal the lead. Sunday morning, 2 a.m, Viewers' Choice. 5 games live, all at one time. Match of the day, Bolton face Arsenal. Then at 4:10, top spot Man U meet Aston Villa. Sunday night, chasing Chelsea host Middlesbrough. Then it's Newcastle away to Tottenham. 2 a.m, it's the massive Merseyside derby. Liverpool take on Everton. Barclays Premier League, live on Fox Sports.
They say people don't believe in heroes anymore. Believe this. A new age has dawned. A new hero has arrived. The Stoner Age is upon us, and Casey's time is now.
A brilliant race from the Australian. He claims the first win of 2008.
Next, Casey looks to continue his reign on the plains of Spain. MotoGP from Spain, 7:45 Sunday night, live, Fox Sports 2.
Check out my brand new fake ID.
On Foxtel Box Office, get ready for McLovin.
Change your name to McLovin?
Superbad, coming soon, only on Foxtel Box Office.
I am McLovin.
I am the pride of Brisbane Town.
I am Tiger Tough.
I am a Purple Haze.
I am Raw Power.
I am a one-point ball game.
I'm 90,000 screaming fans.
I am the edge of your seat.
I am the best seat in the house.
Whatever footy means to you, with 4 live games every round and replays of every game, Fox Sports means the best seat in the house for AFL in 2008.
Coming in quickly, Douglas. Slipped it to Thompson. Inside forward 50. Adelaide need a crummer. Goodwin. Beautiful handball to Vince. Around the corner, Bernie Vince. And they answer quickly, the Crows. Back to the action, it's Burton. It spills over the back to the Birdman. Needs a kind bounce. Gets it. And bangs through the fifth for Adelaide. A very polished performance up forward for the Adelaide Crows. At quarter time leading by 27 points. The only multiple goal scorer is Tippett. He has 2. But it's the possessions are coming from half back. McLeod, Bassett and Johncock putting on a clinic in their defensive 50. Kerr's had 8 possessions but hasn't been damaging for the West Coast Eagles. Gentlemen, it's all Adelaide at the moment. They're playing the game on their own terms.
Well, they are, and they've got to make some changes, Johnny Worsfold. I think they've got to try and get a forward line which will make John Cocker-McLeod responsible for a man. Wirapunda, he had one kick and kick one goal, but John Cock, the rebound, and McLeod, 12 possessions at this stage. You've got to play a marking player on Andrew McLeod.
Well, we saw the centre breaks in the stats and the clearances. They're all favouring the West Coast Eagles because they're getting forward, and then it just comes back in waves for Adelaide, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're certainly running harder, though. I think that they're just running through the lines much better.
Paul Hamilton, the assistant coach of Adelaide, is with Rowan Smith.
Well, Paul, couldn't ask for a better start.
Yeah, good start. So we're pretty happy with that, obviously. So there's some really good, strong stuff around the contest, which is really good. And we're moving the ball with some speed. So we're happy with the way we're going. It's first quarter. We had a slight breeze there. Let's see if we can capitalise on it this quarter.
And you look after the forward line. Simon Goodwin is a permanent forward. He's a pretty good match.
He's doing well out there, which is why we've left him there. But we need to play him in the midfield at some stage.
Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, just taking a look at Simon's figures. He's had 5 kicks, 2 handballs. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. Could have obviously been even more damaging, but I think to his 1 goal, he was in the assist for at least another 2.
Well, we saw Darren Glass head down towards the rooms at just on the quarter time, so some work for him. Can't afford to lose their skipper, the West Coast Eagles. They've got to lift. They've got to do something, Jared.
Yeah, back out in the ground is Darren Glass picking up Kurt Tippett. It's been a great start by Tippett. And this next 10 minutes is going to decide whether the Eagles have got a chance. They've got to get on the board.
They've got the ball in the right man's hands. It's Kerr gets it, hands in the back, Lynch. 60 from goal. Now, how far will the umpire pull Bassett back? Because there's a few players in the competition can get home from here, and he's one of them.
He definitely is. I think he's been robbed of about 4 or 5 metres as well, but let's see if he can launch this one.
It's long, it's good, it's straight.
Jeez,
it's through. It's an absolute belter. 1 goal.
Now, sure, you can get as theoretical and technical in footy as you like, but this is the most simplistic game plan of all. Get it to the big bloke and kick along.
Yes, and outside, I agree with you. I think he lost 5 metres there when the umpire set the mark. It might also show that 2-goal breeze you were talking about, and that man, Daniel Kerr, again. I tell you, they want to not run a player with Daniel Kerr, and he just gets 25 possessions. He might give him the impetus to get back into this game. Great finish then. Well done to both players.
Fantastic finish from the big Q man, and great start for the West Coast Eagles in this second term, and Cox gets his hands on it first once again.
Kerr running free again. It's just Russian roulette.
He almost got it, didn't he?
He did.
We'll go get rid of it. It comes out the back play that time.
In and under, and Thompson comes in, and we have another ball up.
Dowdy is running with him, but only after the bouncer, so you'll see Dowdy up his clacker right here and now. Just on Curry, sure, I reckon he's a much more damaging player when he kicks the footy rather than handballs.
Crashes in towards the pack. Coming out the back, McKay, Braun there with him. Just a little gift to Pritis was good. He stands and delivers. Oh, big leap from Emily, couldn't take it. Numbers, though, for they needed a crummer. There are too many big men there. Here's Cox. First to it, though, Paul Pleasure. Massey to Bock. And John Cock, well, he'd slipped out the back. He backed his teammates to get it.
Embley has just hit the ground.
As McLeod hits Griffin. The big man lopes away. Heads in the Burton direction. He'll jump. He couldn't quite take it. Jones affects the spoil.
He's a good defender.
Selwood. Jones backs himself.
He's a very good player, is this kid.
And hits it out in front of Ebert, who has a mile in front of him. The young man from Port Adelaide, playing West Coast against Adelaide. Work that out. Embley, forward, off the ground. CB almost. Something from nothing from the big forward.
Look better with Embley up in the forward line. He's given them a little bit of speed and a little bit of that's a push out and probably a free kick, but nevertheless it was a decent jump.
McLeod for Adelaide heading towards Stevens. He got rid of Graham, then just dropped the footy.
In the back, the umpire.
Just lacked a little bit of awareness. He lunged instead of seeing the fumble.
Over the top, searching for Thompson. Hooking him back. Doesn't get enough on the ball, so it's bouncing dangerously for the Crows here. Cox in trouble. Edwards comes in. Van Berlo scoops on the up to Burton. Round the corner, gets plenty on it. It's a beautiful snap at Glass. literally on the last line. By hand to Selwood, in turn Ebert. Nice kick. Waters on the end of it. Thinks about going back through the middle, but not sure where to go here. Priddis to Ebert. Enjoyed his debut so far. Gets up and under it a bit and should suit McLeod. Punda came in the middle. John Cox spills it. Chance here for Hansen. Kept it going in the right direction, but missed his target. Bock trying to tidy up. It's untidy from the Adelaide defenders. Free kick, Massey.
Well, gee, they're putting some pressure on now around the ball, West Coast Eagles, and the Adelaide Crows, as smooth as they were in the first quarter, they made a number of mistakes by hand.
They switch to the outer side. It's Thompson. Well, that's going to be very tight for Edwards to mark. Kerr, Doughty right with him. Cox at ground level. Nikoski will take the free kick for the push.
Stengwein's on the wing. Got to turn around quick, and that's where he goes.
Spotted him, Tony. Handball over the top, Embley. Hooks it back in the middle. Lynch, had 3/4 of it, not paid. Symes fishes it out. Embley there with poor pleasure. Both desperate for the footy. We'll have a ball up, 55 metres out. There's a lot more spark from West Coast.
Yeah, it's pressure. That's all it is. They are a very, very proud club, and that pressure wasn't there in the first quarter, but no doubt at the start of this second, they've lifted a notch yet. And
Nikoski's on that half-back line again, on Van Berlo as we speak, and Beau Waters has gone into the forward line, and looks like he's the one with McLeod.
Stenglein will be first to the ball from the clearance. Nice work from Griffin. Jonathan Griffin's a tall man. He's in and under, trying to hold it in, and he is successful.
And Jerry, just on that as well, Beau Waters is trying to drag Andrew McLeod right back to the goal square.
Yep. That's where he is as you speak.
Cox claims front spot. Pinched by Thompson. Stevens playing in front is rewarded. Back through the middle. Hard running back, Ebert.
Geez, had a bit of the ball, Brad Ebert.
This will be disposal
50
number
metres,
9. He's got 50,
metres.
Doesn't know it. He's nephew of the great Russell.
And son of Craig, tell a man they're still filthy over here in Adelaide that he slipped across the border.
Such a famous name here in Adelaide. And he has certainly started like a bomb. Not his best kick, though. So we've had Marston and Ebert, shots on goal, have both gone out.
I was just going to say that about him. In general play, just because of the speed of the game, he's been worried about getting rid of it when there hasn't been pressure. That time when he didn't have pressure, he still did the same thing. He'll find that every game that he plays, just that experience.
Adelaide trying to work it round towards Bassett. Play on, didn't quite take it. Gets help from Massey. Graham dispossessed. Massey came back. Griffin.
Well done to Griffin. The one way to work against Cox is to get the footy yourself.
We've seen it twice now, haven't we, in the last few minutes? 50 metre.
Not sure about that one. He looked like he was off to me. In fact, he was off. The umpire clearly hadn't called play on. And that's what you've got to wait for. That's what the difficulty for the player, knowing intuitively that he's going. Have a look at it again.
It's all
there he goes, he's off.
It's all in favour of the player in possession, isn't it? Defensive pressure doesn't work. Long kick it forward, and just the point.
Margin is 27 points at quarter time. The Eagles have got it back to 19.
So I'm not sure what was in that bottle or that sauce bottle or on the chops, but they've found their voice here at the AAMI Stadium.
They certainly have, and they want something to happen here as Symes squeezes it forward, I should say. Hearn first there, though, for West Coast. Ran himself into trouble. Tackled himself almost. Nikoski under pressure. That's a lucky break for the Eagles.
Shannon Hearn's done the blind turn of his shadow.
That's a first here.
Oh, have a look at this. That is...
It's Hearn turning and burning.
Oh, you feel sorry for that.
Oh, well played.
Cox taking it and jamming it forward. Symes had to go back. Bock. Symes goes again. Braun wants the free kick. He's not going to get it.
difference in this game is pressure. That's the only, they were really just did not put any physical pressure on at all, West Coast Eagles. Now as a unit, every time they've had the numbers to the contest, and this is better from them.
Griffin this time with the knock, but the clearance, you get so many clearances for a big man, Cox. Graham.
Still running into each other a little bit. They're not still playing great footy, but they're only a goal away from getting right back into it.
Braun with some time. Flipped over the back, blocked there for Adelaide, and here they go.
Oh,
here's the rubber band. Gone bang.
Look at this, Johncock out in the wing. He could go the way here.
Graham Johncock was a leading goal kicker seasons and seasons ago. Good one over the top. Kept it alive. Almost a corner kick from Goodwin. Went too far for Edwards. He's got no support.
He's gone.
Had to beat 3, and I think Adelaide will be very happy they get a boundary throw-in out of that.
And another turnover by the Eagles. I think their work rate's gone up probably 50%, but their skill level just at the moment is nothing like what we're seeing, and too many turnovers.
Beautifully laid down by Cox to Prittis. Staker searching for Fletcher. He's wrapped up. Turnover here. Doughty. Stevens. Now, Cox is just, they're giving it to him for nothing. Kerr. Braun. Here go the Eagles once again. On the end of it, Big Dean Cox. Oh, beautiful left foot kick. Just didn't have enough on it. Going back Rutten. Adelaide to clear. Block to McLeod. To Johncock. He's just staying out on half-back flank. Doesn't pick a man up.
No. It's his wing.
Yep. Out in front of Symes. McLeod and Johncock, 29 disposals between them already. Symes, left boot. McGregor coming. Couldn't quite get it over the back. Fletcher has some time. To measure the kick and does. Staker. Cox is his next option.
So the longer the game goes, I've got no doubt that Dean Cox, his experience, it's just going to hurt you. He's out the wing by himself. You can just see him in the picture there. He should have nearly got that ball on that occasion.
We called Jones into the play, unselfish. There's a push. West Coast have really got something happening here. It's almost like they need to get a goal and get some reward for their work.
I like this move of Beau Waters because Beau Waters can mark the ball, and he's taking Andrew McLeod back to the goal square.
Hunter.
In the pocket, not enough on it.
Geez, their kicking's been poor, the Eagles.
Nathan Bock.
That's why they're having to work so hard, because they're losing disposal in defence, and therefore they're having to run full length of the ground both ways.
Turning back was Rutten to Symes. To Thompson.
Andrew, that's it, thank you.
Adelaide again with the switch. Nathan Bock racking up disposals as well. He joins McLeod and Johncock at the top of the list. Bassett.
Dean Cox has just signalled to his bench he needs a blowout.
Needs a spell. And there's your man, Jared. Jones playing in front. Measures the pass. Did well there. Douglas, just enough to put a hand on it. Can he get back and get there first? He can, in front of Fletcher, but he had to beat Seavey. 2 beats 1. And again, the third man coming in, Prittis. West Coast on the burst now. Short pass, Hansen. Clear of Bock this time. He goes short. Beautiful pass, but cut off by McKay. Hard work from the midfielders to get back.
They're just not getting reward for their work, and Jared said it, their foot skills are very, very poor.
Pleasure got it from Rutten. Cuts through the middle of the ground. Keeping his eye on the footy was Edwards. Selwood took his eye off it.
Well, Dean Cox is desperate for rest. He's been working overtime trying to lift his side. He's now going to push down into the forward line, and Seavey or Quentin Lynch will go up onto the ball. At the moment on the bench for the Eagles, they've got Kerr, Ebert, Braun and Wirrapunda. So they've got all the big blokes out there.
Crows haven't scored this quarter, and we're halfway through. Edwards kicked a couple last week. Directly in front. The crowd will tell the story. He kicks it.
And that hurts if you're an Eagles player. You've worked your backside off. You've really put out in the hard yards, and yet it's stuff like this. Poor kick, poor option, and excellent work by the Adelaide Crows. David Mackay, just a young kid coming into the side over the last 2 weeks. who has affected the interchange. And you just see there Selwood saying, come on, guys, give us a break here. We're under siege. We've got to get some down the other end.
Kerr getting some attention. McCoskey also just taking his time with Braun. So they've got some talent on the bench at the moment, the Eagles. A goal against the run of play for Adelaide. Gets the margin back out to 25.
Tip it into the ruck. Let's see him jump. We know he can.
Look it out, you can. Look it out, you can. Both holding it in.
Six individual goal scorers. Oh, sorry, not individual goal scorers, but for the Adelaide Crows. That shows they've got a goal from Cox, who's a midfielder of West Coast Eagles. They need to get a couple of key forwards. Maybe Ashley Hansen has to start taking some grabs inside 50.
Fletcher to Wirapunda, who he has to get hold of the football as well. That's only his second disposal. Graham. Here goes Wirapunda with some pace. Edwards.
Well done, Wirapunda.
He backed himself to beat two there. Hansen flips it back towards... Oh, look at the pickpocket. Van Berlo.
We've got a thief out there.
We have. Vince to Tippett. The young Crows combine. Here's Jericho.
Tippett looks a flyer.
Here's Goodman.
Yes, good. Well called, Tony.
He might end his whole career just being a come out of the square forward and the crowd's asking for 50.
Michael Shooter.
Well, exactly. They were both in the air. And look, you know he can kick goals from right on the 50-metre. Oh, that's unselfish.
McGregor takes it. Probably only gets another 5 metres on the same angle.
And it's right foot across goal instead of left foot into the goal. Makes a bit of difference. But, gee, I just love the way Simon Goodwin, we know he can play midfield and he'll rack up possessions, but he's more effective for him while he can play this role, I believe.
9 disposals and 5 marks for Goodwin. And I like McGregor from here. And amazingly, the Crows could be out to a 31-point lead. When West Coast were coming back, he's hooked it.
There's that right foot across goal. They just don't like that corner. I would have rather Goodwin kicked the goal from there. I know you've got to be unselfish and, but he's a left footer into goal, and it's more natural for a left footer kicking on that angle. And you also get your name in the paper if you kick a goal.
Geez, I'll tell you what, Shuri, there's a player out there, he's only in his second game, but he could be one of the big names. I know it's putting pressure on him, but he's good enough to be able to deal with it. He went into the ruck, Kurt Tippett.
Yeah.
He won the ruck against Seaby. He went forward, he's kicked goals, he's got good skills, and he's an athlete. They may have found a gem.
Selwood switching to Fletcher. Rapunda's gone back for West Coast. He took the kick in. You heard the umpire. Braun has to keep going. Burton didn't hear the call. Brown to the wing.
Good grab.
Braun to the wing, I should say. Nice mark, Seaby.
You've got Selwood wide looking to change.
And I'll tell you what, the Adelaide Crows have done this well. They've got a couple of numbers back now.
He found Stendline in the middle, though. And he gets back to Braun, who started the procession earlier on. 70 from goal, into the pocket, Embley.
Worked really hard, has Andrew Embley as a forward. Not sure he was working as hard when he was in the middle, but as a forward, he's really worked hard and tried to get himself into the game and lift his club.
Yeah, just the 13 disposals last week. Well down on what we'd expect from a Norm Smith medalist.
Just wonder where they brought Chris Massey in, because he's a very suitable matchup just for this role for the day.
Tough kick from there. To the square, or just short. Cromer required. McLeod first there, and a rush behind.
Just 3 possessions in this second quarter, Andrew McLeod, but he's had 15 for the game.
This is Douglas. In turn, Vince.
Look at the numbers, the Adelaide Crows. Look at in the picture there. How many Adelaide Crows runners just running for possession?
Well, almost a perfect interchange from Ebert. Tried to come in and steal it from Van Berlo. McKay ran into him.
Must be the Bermuda Triangle down there. He certainly got Shannon Hearn.
And here's Prittis. Cleverly kept it in play. This could really work for the West Coast here. Marston bangs it on the boot. Forward he goes. Over the top came Hunter. Box stayed down. And Adelaide on the way back. Douglas. Forward spots Thompson. Wonderful vision. And Thompson should kick the goal.
Well, he said the coach they wanted to get the ball forward quickly. They wanted to score more. They achieved that last week, but they didn't win. But at the moment, they've been true to his sentiments. They are trying to get the ball forward as quickly as possible.
They lead by 25 points. Inside 50s are even. Such is the rebound that's creating opportunities for Adelaide. Thompson shouldn't miss. He doesn't. Another goal to the Crows.
Richard Douglas, I saw him play last week. He normally plays across half forward. He's just one of these mid-range types who'll play a fair bit in midfield as his career goes on. I think he sets up play very well, finds space. Box been fantastic across halfback, but there he just turns around and says, okay, I don't know whether he picked out Scotty Thompson or not, but he just said, I'm going to turn around and get it in that area and put pressure on the opposition, and that's the way you'll score quicker, and that's exactly what Neil Craig said they want to do before the season started.
Thompson's first for the afternoon.
Well, they said that they were going to move Goodwin into the middle. They've done that. He's right next to Daniel Kerr.
And it's Braun who's first to the ball. Prittis as well. Tippett affecting the tackle. And he's rewarded, Jared. Does it all. Chips out wide. Edwards. Enough balance and poise to get around and find McGregor on the lead.
Good score,
Staker did enough. Vince. Massey's caught. Edwards came back again. Marston trying to get it forward. Vince flipped it out. It came to Bock, who's having a day out. Bock's kick into the pocket. Thompson the target again. Couldn't take it. Ball at ground level. Douglas went over the top of it. Glass puts Weir-Punda under pressure. Symes there for Adelaide. Breaks free.
Well
inside 50. Hooks it to the square. Coming back and taking it, Goodwin. Well done by Symes on the boundary.
Well, it was well done by Brad Symes, kept the ball alive, and this man, he might have started in the midfield. And I say it again, as much as Daniel Kerr's a great player, as good as he is, you're a chance of kicking goals on him because he's so offensive, he doesn't put a lot of time. That was his man, we said it at the centre bounce. We've had a stanza of play of maybe a minute, and Goodwin gets in the forward 50 by himself.
His sixth mark. He's going to end up with 10 or 12 marks, 7 or 8 of them inside the forward 50 at this rate. He's lining up for number 2. And Adelaide continue on their merry way. Real strife now for the Eagles. They made a run at them, Jared, but all of a sudden it's a 37-point margin. They can't continue to keep coming from behind.
I think it's just the skills that let them down badly. There was a missed tackle there by Andrew Embley that he'd sure he'd like to have back. There's the fumble that set up this opportunity. Here's Andrew Embley on the target. Doesn't go at the hips. It was an arm tackle. And just a smart piece of play. So a couple of errors from 2 senior players have cost them a goal.
2 goals, 3 last week. 2 goals, 2 by half-time this week. Adelaide by 37 points. They kicked 18 last week, as Tony mentioned earlier in the call, and they've already got 9 before half-time. They've got avenues to goal. One of them is this man. Straight up the middle. Suits West Coast, though, with Punda in the hole.
That's the mark, Douglas.
Breaks to the outer side. Cox on his own. Stengline needs to be quick.
This is where I can't understand how Cox continually gets alone. He just sets them up. OK, they've turned this one over possibly, but he's always the man they go to get the ball forward.
He just breaks out to a half-back flank, doesn't he?
Yeah.
There's no secret. He does it all the time.
Hold block, fellas.
He's battling with Griffin. Dowdy just at the wrong moment slipped over because he'd made good position. Weir-Punda scoops it up with class. Releases Embley. Takes a bounce. Over the top, McCoskey. Can he get clear on his left? He can't.
Good defence.
Now he's on his left, 55. He kicks it a long way. Right to the square.
That's a free kick.
There's a whistle. West Coast free kick. Hunter will line up from 5 metres.
That's exactly what we're talking about. The defender, just the ball kicked long to the pressure area, turns his back on play, holds an arm, doesn't matter. That has to be a free kick every time against Bassett. And no, he knew it. He knew it straight away.
Tight angle for the switch hitter, Hunter. No problems whatsoever. A much-needed goal for the Eagles.
Well, he kicked the boomerang in WA, but it's a check side here in Adelaide. Nevertheless, it's a darn good shot at goal. And it came from hard work. This is more like what we're used to seeing from the Eagles. Skills perfected under hours of training that hit targets. You could almost have made a case for Seavey to get one there as well, but he was just holding him out with strength, I suspect Ben Rutten would argue. But at least the skills didn't let them down.
2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. The Eagles get it back to 31 points. Hunter deep at full forward at the moment.
Good tap.
Out wide to Braun. We're Punda. Hansen his target. Bock is killing him. No question about it. And he's quite happy to just leave it go for a teammate.
They've got to make a change there with Hansen. They just can't continue to have a non-contributor there at half forward. 18th disposal for Nathan Bock. Staker trying to do something for the Eagles. Back to Braun. They back pedal. We're Punda. A little bit untidy. Embley. Jones forced to go back to Embley. They could turn it over here. What will Scott Thompson do? Free kick. And it's Thompson's. Adelaide have an open forward 50. John Cox streaming from the half-back line. They're going to get Bock down to the full back line. Maybe just put Hansen out of the goal scorer. He's the #1 possession winner on the ground now with 18. His man's had 2 kicks and 2 handballs.
Wonderful kick. Sometimes in footy, Tony, if you get the right bloke just outside 50 who's got some patience, who can back himself to find a hole.
I would nearly back the whole midfield of Adelaide to do that and just do it beautiful. I'm with you, Jared. Last week, Robert Murphy went and played at centre-half forward and Bock picked him up and he really troubled him. You've got to look to the past and pick someone who might be similar stature to that. Don't worry about height. Worry about speed and making a difficult matchup.
Jericho finishes nicely.
Well, this has just been one of the most impressive halves of footy we've seen from Adelaide in recent years. I think under the pump, they responded. I think that they've worked really hard through the off-season. They had a great NAB Cup without going all the way. And I'll tell you what, Shuri, what has stood up has been NAB Cup form. People decry the NAB Cup, but I reckon it's been a window to, or an eye to what we have seen so far this season.
Back to the side, Jericho kicks the goal, 1 minute remaining. Just 11 games in 2 years, Luke Jericho, making the most of his opportunities so far today. Bounce favours Cox. Van Berlo on the up is good. Paul Pleasure got it from Doughty. It's plenty of purchase on the ball. Over the back, Staker missed it. Douglas almost ran onto it. Cox on hands and knees. Staker going backwards. We're Punda. It's a 3-metre kick to Jones. Don't see that very often.
Tell you what, you just have to admire the work rate of Dean Cox. They are getting flogged at the present time, but I reckon he'd be still in the best 3 on the ground. Nikoski.
John Cox cleans up Selwood. Embley has it though for West Coast. Pressure from Adelaide is good. Welcome to Football Park, Ebert. Paul Pleasure came over the top of him twice. Adelaide forced the error. Massey back to McLeod. Can they do something quickly in the dying seconds of the first half? Vince. What a half by Nathan Bock. Burton has got it, but the clock may beat the Birdman. Adelaide fans want 50 metres. They don't get it, but they'll be happy with the siren. It has been an impressive performance by the Adelaide Crows. They led at quarter time by 27 points. They have stretched their lead after withholding a burst from the West Coast Eagles, and they are dominating. At half-time here at AAMI Stadium, Adelaide lead the West Coast Eagles by 37 points.
No deposit, no interest, no repayments till 2010 at Harvey Norman now. Now's the time to update, upgrade, upsize. The best of lounge, dining, bedding and bedroom furniture. Amazing sight and sound technology and household appliances. Big brand computers and must-have gadgets. Buy now on no deposit, no interest, no repayments till 2010. 22 months interest free. Get what you need now on no deposit, no interest, no repayments till 2010 at Harvey Norman.
Go, Harvey, go!
It's Toyotathon time with massive discounts across the Toyota range.
For 1 month only, you don't have to buy a whole fleet of Toyotas to get big business Gold Fleet pricing. Everyone gets big business discounts on all new Toyotas built before January 08. Every vehicle with this red spot offers huge savings. Toyotathon only happens once a year, so buy before March 31 and save. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Roll the 6 and you're gone.
I'm out. Not necessarily, Stephen. I can still see options on the board. At St George, we'd suggest that we sell your house on Fleet Street and 2 of your utilities to maximise your savings and lower your overheads, and make some smaller payments as you pass go.
Excellent. Earthquake.
It takes a special kind of person to work at St George, one who always goes above and beyond to give you the best service possible. St George, good with people, good with money.
Are back in town for the Autumn Racing Carnival.
The 6th annual Astra Awards are coming, and by voting for your favourite TV stars and programs, you and a friend could win a chance to experience all the glitz and glamour that come with TV's Night of Nights. You could even win an HD LCD TV. It's your choice. Simply go to channel 222 and press the red button to vote, or vote online at astraawards.com. Vote now to win. Driven by Holden Astra.
Autumn's about a lot of garden preparation. It's a lot of getting back into the garden, working, enjoying it, and half the garden has got to be enjoyment.
Leaf rake and leveller, $12.98. 2 outlet garden stake, $29.98. Petrol blower, $129. Rapid wrench, $29.98. Hortico potting mix, just $5.98.
And that's one of the biggest things, sitting back and looking at the work after you've done it.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
By now, Australian football was the greatest game on earth, which meant it was time to broaden its appeal. And with so many teams running around, it became difficult to tell who was playing who. So we invented colour television. By the 80s, new skills made the game faster, and the players became more aerodynamic. And it wasn't long before scientists discovered a way to create the ultimate footballer, which just about brings us up to today. And as for tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
I think they'll bring back the barbecues just about every time the Crows play here at AAMI Stadium, because on the back of the barbecue fiesta before the match, they have got a 37-point lead in what was a most impressive half. 10-5-65 to the Eagles, who are struggling. 4-4-28. Goodwin's been great up forward, the captain, with Tippett, the youngster, with 2 goals apiece. And, well, the Eagles are just working hard to find a goal scorer, and plenty of possessions right across the ground. But as we welcome you back to the screen, Shorey, at half-time, it just looks to me as if the Crows have decided to get the ball in quickly, less handball, more kicks, and yet the Eagles are fumbling around with over-possessing the footy.
No doubt about it. And the thing about Neil Craig, as we said at the start of the season, he wanted to score more, Jared. Well, that's what's happening. Matter of fact, look at the stats. The West Coast Eagles are on a par with most of the stats that Adelaide have got. The handball's 92. The more handballs that the West Coast Eagles have got, the reason being, I think Adelaide Crows have just pressured so much. They've thrown the ball around, and, you know, to kick 4 goals at half-time, you're thinking their key forwards are letting them down. Nathan Bock's had, 19 possessions, and his best ever has been 25 possessions in a game. So 19 possessions at half-time. They need to find some key forwards, the West Coast Eagles, who can stand up.
I think they've got to get the ball in there quickly. Adelaide showed right from the word go that they wanted to have speed of movement. It came from John Cock and the Prince at half-back. Got the ball to Goodwin. He moved it forward. Could have had 3 goals in the first quarter, but geez, it was just clean movement.
I think also it shows West Coast Eagles mightn't have as much speed as they want. And there's that young Tippett, isn't he, a talent? He will be a player of the future, there's no doubt. You know, John Cock just coming off halfback. He's had 14 possessions. McLeod's had 16. If you allow 2 players who can use the ball like they can, Jared, to have that much freedom, it's going to hurt you. Simon Goodwin, you said, kicked 2 goals. I love him playing up forward. I think he'll finish career playing as a forward coming out of the square. A little bit like Mark Rasciuto, and he's been fantastic. Kicking 2 and giving away probably another 2.
Let's just spare a moment for Graham John Cock. Not a great player last week, but today, along with, I guess, the rest of his half-back line, they have just launched attack after attack and made it easy for the forwards just because they've brought it in so quickly.
Well, you just wonder too, have the West Coast Eagles forwards gone kick chasing? Have they pushed up the ground trying to get numbers because the onslaught came early? You know, the onslaught came early, no doubt, and they just didn't know how to handle it. This sort of thing, just tempo football and the way they control the ball. They're having possession, but when they get clear, I love Adelaide Crows, they're getting it to the top of the square, putting pressure on the opposition.
You mentioned at the top of the program that you'd like to see someone run with Dean Cox to cut out the Eagles from launching across half-back. They haven't done that. Clearly, they haven't needed to as much, but the work rate of this man is just superb.
Well, it is, and the thing about, look, the problem is he's had no one to kick to. He's done it all across the middle of the ground. I think the one time he did penetrate forward, and he's going to have to do that a lot more. Even Jared, not go to the bench in the second half. Maybe go straight down to the forward line. He took a mark, kicked a goal. That's what he can do by hand. He's a talented player. But I think Tippett's been fantastic, and Griffin's been competitive, but you're talking about probably the best ruckman in the competition.
So where does John Worsfold go to now? Quarter time, he implored his side to lift. Their pressure at the start of that second quarter was fantastic, and yet it didn't turn into great goals. But clearly, if you had the ability, you'd throw up this sort of vision at half-time and said, fellas, we're going to get slaughtered if we don't reproduce this sort of stuff.
It was a 7-minute period where they tackled hard. They had, look at the numbers around the ball. Every time you look at the TV screen in football when you watch it, just look at the numbers in the screen at the time. And I would think he would be saying, you have to emulate that pressure to make sure we can get back in the game. What they didn't do, they didn't kick goals to pay off that great work.
So can you see them changing it up to get themselves competitive?
I just think they need some key forwards who can mark the ball, maybe put the ball deeper into their forward 50, because Ashley Hansen's been beaten at centre forward. Maybe put him to the square.
One man that the Crows is missing is Brent Riley. He's going to join us on the other side of this break. He's with Rowan Smith.
No deposit, no interest, no repayments till 2010 at Harvey Norman now. Now's the time to update, upgrade, upsize. The best of lounge, dining, bedding and bedroom furniture. Amazing sight and sound technology and household appliances. Big brand computers and must-have gadgets. Buy now on no deposit, no interest, no repayments till 2010. 22 months interest free. Get what you need now on no deposit, no interest, no repayments till 2010 at Harvey Norman.
Go, Harvey, go!
Experience extreme sports performance in the Suzuki Swift Sport, the Junior World Rally Champion with ESP and Monroe Sports Suspension. Now priced to really go at just $23,990 drive away. Race into your Suzuki dealer now.
Oh, we stopped off at every outlet that we could. It was great. And everything that I wanted was on sale.
What is it, boy?
And I bought all of them.
Should have had a V8 with 3 serves of vegetables in every glass.
Hey Brody, how are you supposed to know if it's true love?
It's easy. You just use the love calculator. You simply send the word rate, your name and your partner's name to 191818. They calculate exactly your compatibility. Then you'll know if you should stay with Mr. Right or stop wasting time with that loser.
So I would send the word rate, my name's Suze, and my dream partner's name Tom to 191818.
Oh, bad luck, Tom.
Well, have you ever wanted to know if your partner's cheating? Well, I know how to find out, and it's easy with the cheat meter. Just SMS the word cheat, your name and your lover's name to 191818 and get the answer instantly.
Right. Oh, jeez, Tom has really chopped the ball. Okay, I've got something even better. Do you like fortune cookies?
Yes, I do.
Well, I've got a way we can get your own personal fortune cookie sent straight to your mobile phone in one SMS. You simply type the word luck and your name. So it's luck, and Brodie to 19 18 18 and get your own personal fortune.
Cool, that's such a great way to find out where I'm heading, and it's so easy. Give me a go.
Autumn is the time to get into the garden so that you're prepared for when spring comes. Pruning, weeding, fertilising, the whole lot. So come spring, you just sit back and relax.
Bypass or anvil pruner, $13.94 each. Natural decking oil, $49. Woolen rug, $249. Floodlight, $15.96. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Get your garden going, ready for spring.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Saturday night AFL. Freo step in the ring with the #1 contender. As the top of the ladder Hawks size up Subi. Don't you love him? Fremantle Hawthorn 7:30 tonight, live on Fox Sports 1. This weekend, Barclays Premier League, live on Fox Sports. And he has given Arsenal the lead. Sunday morning, 2 a.m, Viewers' Choice. 5 games live, all at one time. Match of the day, Bolton face Arsenal. Then at 4:10, top spot Man U meet Aston Villa. Sunday night, Chasing Chelsea host Middlesbrough. Then it's Newcastle away to Tottenham. 2 a.m, it's the massive Merseyside derby. Liverpool take on Everton. Barclays Premier League, live on Fox Sports.
Wake up to the latest results and news from around the sporting world, all in a grab-and-go 15-minute snack pack. The Morning Rush, 6 till 8 weekdays on Fox Sports News, Channel 513.
Well, rain was forecast and wintry, windy conditions, but the Weather Bureau haven't got it all that correct. As you see, the weather conditions absolutely perfect so far. Shuri, in these conditions, are you worried about the West Coast and perhaps the one-pace nature of their midfield?
Oh, it is an issue, there's no doubt. But I think it's been more the work rate of Adelaide. They run in numbers. As I said, when you look in the screen, when you're watching TV and you see the numbers like they had on occasions, even the quickest player can't run with them. But I think they've just got to throw a few things around. You can't base it on around Cox and Kerr all the time. Try some unknown players in there. Maybe Shannon Hearn comes off the half-back line because he kicks the ball long and penetrates.
Well, the Crows went into the game without a couple of their midfielders. One of them, Brent Riley's down on the boundary line with our own Rowan Smith. Rowan?
Thanks very much, Jared. And yes, we are here for Brent Riley. And, mate, first things first, how's the injury?
Yeah, I had surgery on it on Wednesday and it's come along okay. It's a bit sore at the moment, but I should be back in about 6 weeks.
What did you actually do?
Oh, I cracked the radius bone and chipped the little knuckle on the outside off, and I had to get that wide back up.
You say you're back in 6 weeks. Are you going to enjoy the rehab?
Probably not, mate, but it's something I have to do. At least I can still run around and get on the bike and still be fit when I get back.
You've played 86 games now. How have you fitted in, obviously being one of nearly the leaders now at the club?
Yeah, well, this year started off as in the midfield with myself and Scotty Thompson taking more of a leadership role in there, and it's this point I got injured, but really liking that role at the moment.
You can see today that Simon Goodwin and Tyson Edwards are playing more forward. That means that you had to obviously step up in the midfield. Are you a little bit disappointed there? You are injured and you had that time that you could get into the midfield?
Yeah, a little bit. At least I know I've been in there and I know I can do it. So when I get back, probably around 7 or around 8, I'll be hopefully to get back straight in the midfield.
I spoke to Neil before the game and he said that he wants to play a more attacking style of game, and you can see that today as well.
Yeah, the boys are playing some good footy out there, and on top of negating Cox and Kerr, they're two good players, but I think our attacking run and even our execution into the foreline's been fantastic.
What did you do in the pre-season to do that? Like, I mean, as you said, you wanted to be more attacking. What did you do during the pre-season?
Oh, just a few new things that we worked on, and if you watch the game out there today, we're doing it really well. We're just being more attacking, playing with a bit of flair, and really enjoying ourselves out there.
The game last week was a pretty tight game. The Bulldogs obviously kicked 18 goals. Neil Craig wanted to curb that today with West Coast only kicking 4 at half-time. It's a good effort. Yeah, it's
a great effort by the defence. I think they've been doing really well. Graham John Cox on fire down there, and if we keep it up in the last half, we should go a long way to win the game.
Well, Brent, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the injury, mate.
Cheers, Smitty.
And it's back up to you, boys.
Good on you, Rowan, and thanks to Brent Riley for sharing a bit of his time with us. Shuri, can you make a case for an Eagles comeback?
Look, I'd love to, because we love a competitive game, Jared, but no, I don't think so. I think they're just playing too well, too many numbers, and they depend on too few, the West Coast Eagles.
Let's find out whether Tony Shaw's crystal ball is right as we take a look at Adam Hunter and Dean Cox imploring their guys. Daniel Kerr, can they get back from the 37-point deficit at half-time?
autumn's about a lot of garden preparation. It's a lot of getting back into the garden, working, enjoying it. And half the garden has got to be enjoyment.
Leaf rake and leveller, $12.98. 2 outlet garden stake, $29.98. Petrol blower, $129. Rapid wrench, $29.98. Hortico potting mix, just $5.98.
And that's one of the biggest things, sitting back and looking at the work after you've done it.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Hey Brody, how are you supposed to know if it's true love?
It's easy. You just use the love calculator. You simply send the word rate, your name and your partner's name to 191818. They calculate exactly your compatibility. Then you'll know if you should stay with Mr. Right or stop wasting time with that loser.
So I would send the word rate, my name's Suze, and my dream partner's name Tom to 191818.
Oh, bad luck, Tom.
Well, have you ever wanted to know if your partner's cheating? Well, I know how to find out, and it's easy with the cheat meter. Just SMS the word cheat, your name and your lover's name to 191818 and get the answer instantly.
Right. Oh, jeez. Tom has really dropped the ball. Okay. I've got something even better. Do you like fortune cookies?
Yes, I do.
Well, I've got a way we can get your own personal fortune cookie sent straight to your mobile phone in one SMS. You simply type the word luck and your name. So it's luck and Brody to 191818 and get your own personal fortune.
Cool. That's such a great way to find out where I'm heading, and it's so easy. Give me a go.
It's Toyotathon time with massive discounts across the Toyota range. For 1 month only, you don't have to buy a whole fleet of Toyotas to get big business Gold Fleet pricing. Everyone gets big business discounts on all new Toyotas built before January 08. Every vehicle with this red spot offers huge savings. Toyotathon only happens once a year, so buy before March 31 and save. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
With so many tasty options to choose from, it's good to know that ordering your happy meal is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, choose a favourite. 2, choose fries or a fruit bag. 3, choose a drink.
Okay, so you guys want that one?
The other one.
The ATP Masters Series, live and exclusive on Fox Sports. This week, the world's top players bring the heat to the hard courts of Miami as the amazing race continues. And the fans are loving it. The fight for valuable ATP points is on. Will Serbia's young prince and Aussie Open winner retain his crown?
Brilliant. That's how to turn defence into attack.
Fire up in Florida. The race continues. The ATP Masters Series from Miami begins tomorrow, 4 a.m. live, Fox Sports 3.
They say people don't believe in heroes anymore. Believe this. A new age has dawned. A new hero has arrived. The Stoner Age is upon us, and Casey's time is now.
A brilliant race from the Australian. He claims the first win of 2008.
Next, Casey looks to continue his reign on the plains of Spain. MotoGP from Spain, 7:45 Sunday night, live, Fox Sports 2.
And welcome back to AAMI Stadium. The second half is not too far away. Both teams going through their last-minute instructions and getting prepared, getting to position. And I'm very keen, gentlemen, after listening to what you said at halftime, I'm very keen to see what West Coast do to save some face on what has been a poor performance, let's be honest.
Well, I think if we have a look at who they've got off the ground, Shuri, you can see that they're going to go, with the exception of Seaby, with pretty much their smallest combination. Ashley Hansen off the ground running laps, and Jamie Graham also. Fletcher's not their quickest player. He's also going to start on the bench along with Stenglein. So they have tried to get their quickest side out on the ground to get themselves back into this match. Bo Waters has gone into the middle of the ground. Staker also is going into the middle of the ground. So they're going to try and change it up, but nothing will work unless they get their skill level up.
Well, I agree with that, but the great thing about it too is they've gone for a little bit of magic in their forward line. David Wirapunda's there and Daniel Kerr, which I don't mind. Just like I said, go with a different matchup and make the Adelaide Crows react to you instead of being reactive.
Set to go. Second half.
You got your race, Shuri, as well. Shannon Hearn has gone on to Simon Goodwin deep in defence.
Cox wins the knock and just lays it straight down for Pritis. Almost a training drill. kicks it high into the forward line. Wonderful mark, Massey with courage.
See, that might be the game right there and then in that mark.
Absolutely brilliant call, Tony, because that has set the tone straight away from the break. Although it's an ugly kick coming out from Adelaide. Nice work by Paul Pleasure to keep it back. Now, Prittis came over trying to hold it in. He's trying to con the umpire on a free kick, and he didn't. Let's take a look at this.
Here it is. That sort of courage, that just lifts your teammates. You know, I don't know where Chris Massey is within this group and how many games you play a year, but they'll show that on the tape during the week 100 times.
Probably suggests he doesn't want to be back in the Sandford next week.
There's the call play on, back, spilling towards Kerr. Edwards, good attack on the ball. Massey again, got it from McKay. John Cock.
Great running.
Spreading wide was Symes. Needs to be very correct here, though. Not enough on the kick. Glass was tackled, didn't have it.
Possession. Tackle to the ground. Thanks, Ted.
So Darren Glass to relief for the West Coast Eagles. Selwood breaks off to the outer side for the switch. Or eventually heads in that direction, but shorter in the way was Jones.
I believe it's made a pretty good move here. He's just gone into the gap between two Crows players and picked himself up a possession. Free kick.
Yep.
That's a good free kick.
Yeah, that's what the rule's designed for, isn't it?
Well, no, just not the slap in the arms by Goodwin, just to hold up play.
Yeah, professional free kick.
Yep.
Selwood moving it on. Embley. And just up the outer side to Dean Cox. Patient build-up by West Coast. Hunter, big lead.
Oh, freak. Oh, gee whiz. That's a bit like that tunnelling, Jared, we just saw. We might have a look at that a bit later.
Never heard of it. Thompson. They share it again, Adelaide. This time Symes getting plenty of possession. Got it out to Edwards. Open forward line for Adelaide. We cut back in the middle. Beautiful play. Beautiful communication between two long-time teammates. Goodwood went one way, came back the other, and Edwards waited for him.
Now, that should be a free kick. I don't care, Jared. The problem with this rule that we're going to see implemented, that's just taking it. That can really be a dangerous injury to someone.
Didn't Hunter just jump indiscriminately there? Hunter was the one that jumped up
the
early.
The opposition didn't get his hands to the ball or even make out he was going to take a mark,
Certainly
Matty.
pushed him in the
back or
rear
whatever.
end, which toppled him.
That is exactly the rule that they were talking about last week.
Goodwin lining up for number 3. He's got tunnel vision, straight through.
So on the back of that story, no doubt we're going to be talking a bit more tunnelling later during the week. In fact, the bloke at half-time suggested to me that what was happening down there with Shannon Hearn was chiselling. I hadn't heard of it, but I'm not sure what he was on about, but I think he's just trying to bring a new word into the logo. That is dangerous.
I think you agree, Jared, that is very dangerous. That is making light of something which can be tragic in a football game.
I'm sorry, I don't think he did that much wrong. Regardless of the contest, Adelaide have the first goal of the second half, and they get the margin out to 43.
And you two are poles apart on the tunnel.
Yep.
We'll get back with that after the match.
One till the day I go under.
Prittis, his second clearance from the corner, but going back and waiting in the hole. Bassett.
Sure, you will be arguing even when you are under.
Here's Nathan Bock, arguably the best man on the ground in the first half.
Oh, he's ran too far.
Thompson gives it back to Bock and continues to rack up disposals.
McLeod pointing.
Edwards got a man in the middle, spotted him. Half volley, Paul Pleasure.
How good was that?
Almost a half volley in turn to Goodwin. Ball at the back, Hunter steps around and gives it off to Nikoski. Seaby.
Got to get forward, the Eagles. They're plenty of possession, but they've got to get forward. Put some pressure on the Crows' defence.
Selwood got it from Braun. He went back to Nikoski. Now he switches to the outer side where they've got some numbers. Glass takes it. Give over the top. Master wants Ripunda. John Cock. Spoil was timely. Symes runs into Embley. Can't go anywhere. Embley tries to get it back out and keep it moving forward. And there's the free kick. West Coast to take it. Embley just outside 50.
Oh, the umpire's down behind play.
He's polished.
And he's sore too.
Into the pocket, and Marston has run on, and he'll take a set shot at goal. Young man in his first game from East Fremantle, just 18 years of age. His first shot went out of bounds on the full.
So, Kieran. Kieran, do you want to tap Sol through?
Communication for the umpires about whether they've got 3 fit men on the ground. Marston.
Quick rotation with the umpires.
Tough kick for him. Wrong side of the post, just the behind.
Now, if we go back to the build-up to that last shot at goal for the Eagles, there was plenty of handball, which is the way that they have unravelled the Crows over the recent years, and yet it was the kick let them down going into that forward line once again, and that's, I guess, in a nutshell, where they've killed themselves today so far.
McLeod gets it wide towards Burton. Leads Selwood well in the race for the ball. Good one again. Tough, strong mark as Hearn was right on his back.
Almost the hardest mark in the game, that one, flat out in the hands above the head. Did it easily.
Wanted Tippett, just a little bit too much on the kick. Glass happy to run it over.
They'll be happy with this start of the quarter, though, Adelaide Crows. There's been no penetration on the scoreboard by the West Coast Eagles.
Tippett.
Hold up the ball. Adelaide footy.
A holding free kick. Rowan Smith on the boundary. Rowan. Well, we'll get back to Rowan shortly.
Let's have a look at that. Well, there it is again. Great decision by the umpire. Just in the corner of the screen. You can see the West Coast Eagles player in Mark Nikoski, no doubt just holding the player, turning his back on play. I love that decision.
And Van Berlo is happy you do, Tony, as he is lining up to put Adelaide 8 straight goals in front. Nathan Van Berlo. It's just a question for the angle. The question was answered quite nicely, thank you. 8-goal lead to the Adelaide Crows. And nothing much has changed since the first half.
No, sure, there it is again. Top of the screen, left-hand corner. It's just holding, and that's a free kick every day of the week. And Van Berlo, I like the way Van Berlo's worked his way into this side over the last 24 months. He's a serious player now, will run hard, keeps his eye on the ball, good skills, good asset to this club.
Now played 55 games, Van Berlo, and as you mentioned, Jared, really part of this team. Rowan Smith, are you there?
Yeah, sorry boys about that one. I've just been watching Darren Glass. The doctor's been out to him twice in this in this third quarter. He's got his left knee heavily strapped, and he's certainly not moving that well, boys.
Get you to keep a good close eye on Darren Glass, right? As we go back to Adelaide pushing forward. Waters under pressure. Here's Goodwin. Give on the uppers. Just smart. Goes back to Jericho with a lovely step. 1, 2, shimmies it, and then just pops it forward, but going back is Waters. Switch of play. Staker. Thought about Seaby. Fletcher's a long way from him. He won't get that far. Now he's told to move and eventually went to Seaby.
Break. Mate, thank you.
Gee, they've shut him down, haven't they? They've got the loose man behind play again. McLeod's loose now at the moment, so it's going to be very hard to score for West Coast Eagles. This tempo football, Adelaide Crows in the coach's box, you'd be just loving this.
Just having a look at the Eagles in their lineup, I think everybody coming into the season knew that they had the depth of player in the middle of the ground to a degree, but they're all very much the one sort of player, sure, and what they're missing now without Cousins and Judd is a line breaker.
No doubt.
The only line breaker I see out there is Embley, because he will run and carry the footy. And yet I think they've got to find somewhere, maybe it's McNamara, maybe it's Staker has to go in there. I'm not sure.
Well, you've got to have faith in the underbelly, don't you? And you look at the good sides at the moment who have numbers in their midfield to do that. And you're right, no, they need a game breaker. Pretty hard when you lose 2 game breakers like Judd and Cousins.
High ball from Lynch. Waters had to wait underneath it. Symes juggling. Marston over the top of him.
Problem is now they're just there with their forward line set up, which I didn't mind. Hanson's back on the ground now, so they've changed that small forward line back to what they had prior to half time.
Secondary ball up. We're right on the point of the square. Adelaide in control.
Hands up, keep them up.
Seaby coming in over the top against McGregor. Wonderful smother by Massey. Ended up with Vince. We've seen a courageous mark and a courageous smother from Massey so far. Bassett breaks away. Ran away from Whit Punda. Out over the top of Jericho. Braun Red at best. Back to Selwood. Lynch will go back in board. Nikoski will try to get towards Prittis. Now gets on his left. Long ball. Saw Hunter. Give him the benefit of the doubt, but Adelaide arrive in numbers. Wonderfully rode by Daniel Kerr. Went to ground with Punda. Hunter's got a player on. He has a shot. Heads to the square. Hanson's got to wait. Johncock went with him. And that sums up Ashley Hanson's day.
Oh, she looked slow then. Didn't look like the ball was just lobbed up there. There's Embley in that marking contest. Hit from behind and in front. Might have got a free kick with the man in front. Took his eye off the ball.
With Punda. He's still going, gets one high. Umpire says he ducked, it's play on. Well, Tony, if in that situation, if he says he ducked,
high or it's holding the ball.
Is it holding the ball, yeah.
I agree with you, Matty. It was either too high in the early tackle. If he ducks, that is prior opportunity. See you later.
Arms up off the footy, no hold. Look at it.
Plenty of one-on-ones around that footy. The umpire pretty keen to make sure there's no holding. We're Punda. Stopped the kick, gave it to Wembley. That's off the side. It's just a terrible kick from a skillful player.
Well, I reckon growing up round two, you often get results after you have a big win in round one and the reverse applies. I reckon the hardest sides to beat are those that haven't had a win in the season. But the Eagles have just been the creator of their own misery at the moment, just with poor skills.
Whistle on the play. Again, it's holding off the ball, and this time West Coast. Well, the shot on goal.
Everybody gets it, and you can hear the crowd not happy about the umpire off the ball paying these free kicks. That's what that umpire's there for. I think this is good. We've seen probably 3 free kicks where players have held off the ball, turned their back on play, and shots of goal have come from that. Now, to me, if that's the way it is, well done to the umpires, if the hold is there.
Daniel Kerr will take the kick. Out directly in front. Makes no mistake, West Coast get one back.
Well, I know that the Crow supporters aren't happy, but exactly what happens when these great players get tagged. And don't worry, Matty, I did it for a number of years, but you know, just a jumper there, pulled away from the jumper, you know, from the body. Off the ball, blocking. You've got to let the players get a run at the ball. I think some of these players don't know their defensive positioning where they can watch the goal, the ball and their opponent at the one time. That is the perfect defensive positioning.
Kerr's first goal get the Eagles back to a 42-point game. He was held, but he made sure the umpires saw it with a bit of a backflip. Did the right thing. Clearance from West Coast, but in the way Massey. Off the ground and standing in front of Stevens. It's where you have to be if you're up forward. That's where this man's been all day. Goodwin wheeling around, threading it to the goal square. Burton wanted it at the back. Jones did well. Happy to see the boundary line.
Great defence once again from Jones. Not happy the locals.
Well, that's come from they thought that Goodwin didn't swing around and the umpire didn't call play on before a West Coast Eagles came across the mark.
That's a free kick.
Seaby pushes, play on the call.
Umpire claiming that they were both going. Now, Shannon Hearn, sure, looking across their list. Matt Rose out of the side and Shannon Hearn. Probably only 2 players I think that can go into that middle to be the running line breakers that I guess can fill the role of Judd and Cousins. The Hearn, as we know, has been required on the half-back line. I've just got to mix up that mix of Fletcher, Prittis and Stengline.
The sun breaks through here at AAMI Stadium. As Nathan Bock continues to rack up disposals to Rutten.
This man's worked hard as a wing too, Jericho.
It's been a good third term, hasn't it?
Well, it's been a good game. It's 12 possessions for the game.
Not enough on the kick, though. An easy one for Hearn to just paddle over the line. .24 disposals for Bock, McLeod 21. And for the West Coast Eagles, 17 for Embley and 16 for Cox. But it's been the quality of the disposals that has been the question mark for the West Coast. McGregor in front, but Seaby gave it to Braun. Running was Kerr. Embley under pressure, but Kerr helped him out. He cuts through the middle, lays it out for Lynch. Can he get there? He's going to just head to the top of the square. And Hansen goes back, where Punda arrives. Waters with some body strength. John Cock at ground level. Well done by Marston. Gave it back to Hansen. Slips at the water, should kick the goal, and misses.
Missed everything.
You've seen him play most of his football down back. It was a nice assist from Marston. It deserved better.
I heard a groan from Gerard Healy, and I think that groan was that Quinton Lynch might have had to give a handball back to Daniel Kerr, who's running past through 50.
Well, just the pace. They've got to get in there quicker. They've got Ashley Hansen down there. He's not a mark, grab, pack player.
Paul Pleasure can go here. Takes the bounce. Takes two. 40 metres out. On the rebound. Oh, they celebrate hard.
And there's the, I guess, comparison. The big Q, he holds onto the footy and he kicks it long to Ashley Hansen, who has never taken a pack mark. He's been well covered by Bock, but he's dragged him down there, and that's been good positioning. But on the rebound, just get it down there and get it in there, and it's worked a treat for the Crows.
Two goals for Paul Pleasure, and the Adelaide crowd enjoyed that one. They get the margin back out to 8 goals. And we're back in the middle, and it's Stenglein, but Syme standing in his way. Kerr, great work. Gave it to Lynch again, off to Fletcher, into the pocket. Marston got it.
That's great vision and a great kick by Fletcher.
Is he off? Yes, he is. We're Punda, it's 15, and he'll take a shot on goal.
Good clearance work, all from Daniel Kerr. What to pick up at ground level to keep his balance without falling over Gerard was just unbelievable. And you can see them just pushing to the Maston. Then just went into the pocket. He's a bit gun-shy kicking for goal, no doubt about that. He was looking in the corridor straight away.
Where Punda kicked a goal with his first kick of the day, 40 metres out. Looks pretty good off the boot, and he does. He kicks it. An answering goal for West Coast.
Good response once again off the individual effort of Daniel Kerr getting the ball forward. He was tripped. That's the one you needed to give early in the piece. He got it out to Fletcher. Ball in there quickly, allowed Marston to push up. I don't mind this, Shorey. I think he's kicked it to a better position. It was a 1 in 5 shot from there, and, well, David Woodrup is rarely going to miss from that spot. But that was the Eagles that you expect to see. They're having a day off.
Inside the 7 minutes to go in this third term. 13-5 to 6-5.
Good jump from Griffin.
Yep, Van Berlo, 2 goes at it. Gets it forward the second time. Spoil came from Glass. Paul Pleasure runs onto it again. Now, looks up. Plays the percentages, kicks it high, Tippett, almost. Vince there, so too Prittis, Kerr, gets support from Graham, they should get away. Now Tippett's down.
Gee, it's not a knee.
He's just a little bit slow to get up.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
He's holding a knee. Let's hope we're all wrong here, because we've seen so much of this young player.
We'll keep an eye on that, but we're back with the action at the moment. West Coast fans are seeing Hunter go forward with the bullet-like pass to Ashley Hansen. And he comes up with it, and let's just hope that that's just something very, very minor. Adelaide medical staff.
Blocks, fellas.
Best in the business.
They have a clean run of it.
He's upset 15 medical staff there.
Equal of any medical side of the business, but he's up.
He's up. Now, that doesn't really mean too much at the moment, but it's...
Hansen with the kick. Sorry, Jared. That's an excellent finish from Ashley Hansen. Hasn't had a good day, but he's kicked that.
Well, he's jogging off now. The sad reality is that it does mean nothing. You can still do your cruciate ligament, and for a period of time, he's still stable in that knee joint. Let's have a look at it. It just buckled there initially. So there is very little in it. But as we've seen, unfortunately, so many times this season, it doesn't have to be too much. Just hyperextended.
2 goals in a row to the West Coast Eagles. The concern for Adelaide is, well, is there some damage to Kurt Tippett's knee?
Well, we'll have another look at it, but it does look as if he's just hyperextended that knee to a degree, which means it could be some damage at the back of the capsule. It can also mean that there's been some cruciate ligament damage, but if it was based on what we hope to see again, the replay, you'd say that he's better than a 50% chance of being okay.
Braun tapping it forward, trying to keep it going West Coast way, and he got the exact same result from Stenglein. Doesn't Kerr do that well? Down and up and away with possession. Lynch. He must have heard you, Jared. He's hit it again. This time the Braun to Prittis. Needs a hook and pack. It's going across the face. Ball up. 5 minutes remaining third term. The margin was 37 at half-time. West Coast have improved that by 1 point.
Let's take another look at this knee injury. And you just see the left leg there just hyperextend right there.
What's that normally mean, Jared, being the physiotherapist?
It can mean that, you know, it can mean a cruciate ligament damage, maybe not so much a tear with that level of hyperextension. It can also mean damage to the back of the capsule. Right now, I reckon they'll be putting him in ice and taking him to hospital, have a scan, and just hoping for the best.
Ball up, forward pocket. West Coast would love to get another one in a row.
Well, this, right here now, this is West Coast Eagles' game. Like I said at half-time, I didn't think they could win the game. But if they were to sneak 1 or 2, it just gives you a snip, and they might have a breeze of 2 goals in the last.
Here he goes.
He's the man. Daniel Kerr couldn't quite get it. And the Terrier's back in over the top. He wants a free kick.
Jeez, but he's trying to lift him off his back, isn't he? Just
this term.
A couple of clearances. Strong at the ball.
West Coast pressing. Dangerous here. Stenglein, Hansen involved. Spins out. Another bounce, but it's very close to West Coast goal. As you mentioned, Shorey, let's say 2 goals. Get it to 4 goals at three-quarter time. It's a margin you can attack.
It's workable.
Kerr in the ruck work as well. He's doing everything. Messi. That's a little gift to Johncock. Was quite clever. Fumble from Thompson. There's a rush behind coming up. No. Adelaide not prepared to work it that way. They go to the outer side through McLeod. And standing on his own was Stevens. Not a lot of pace shown, but didn't need it. 2 to beat Jericho.
Well done.
That's a win for Adelaide.
That is a win, no doubt. Didn't get any yardage from it, but just to kill the ball on the half-forward flank, and you just breathe again. They can get players behind the ball now. It's well done to Jericho. Playing a full forward now.
Griffin over the top. Now, it's going to be a free kick to Cox, and you've got to feel for Griffin there, because he had eyes for the ball, and Cox was just burrowing into it.
They're both holding each other
up. He's just trying to get the tap out.
He saw the one across the head. That was the difference.
Just more experience from Cox. Fletcher on the burst for West Coast. Bassett flying, but staying down Lynch. Onto his left. Whip under the target. Seaby, the taller option. Johncock, the right man.
Gee, Mark Seaby, you've got to make a bigger effort there than that. You've got to bring that ball to the ground. Wirapunda was trying to create something by going to the back of the pack that time.
Some space here, Tony. For Adelaide, it's Van Berlo. Up to Goodwin. He was just let go there. He just hung off him there, Hearn. Goodwin into the pocket. Jericho's got pace.
Free kick.
Pushing the back. He'll take a set shot on goal. He'll line up for his second. It's a good, clever kick from Goodwin. Let him run onto it. And Glass forced to give away the error.
Well, he's kicked 3 goals, Simon Goodwin, but I think he's probably had 4 assists for shots at goal, Matty. So I tell you, he'd be close to best on ground as a genuine half-forward flanker.
Jericho will kick right on 50, right behind him here. Pushes it out right. That'll stay in play. Punch over the top, Cox. Boundary throw in. Once again, it's Cox and Griffin. Prittis first at it. Fletcher wrapped up by Thompson. Graham picks up and takes it and goes. Kicks out towards Embley. A little bit too far for him. McLeod on the back pedal. Chips it back with some precision and with some class to Bernie Vince. They're lining up back here, Adelaide. Bassett trying to get it to the fat side. John Cock. Goodwin on a lead. Short, now just 15 to Massey. Big lead from Burton. Jones is there. Burton wants the mark, and it is paid.
Well, we'll have to look at this one, whether there was a hand in the punch, but if he's in front and does make contact simultaneously, that means that you are awarded the mark. Gee, what do you think there, about? There's a few hands there, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it's a mark. Burton. Oh, it's a poor kick in the end. But Burton was very, very certain that when he got a second go at it, that it was his.
What about Simon Goodwin? Now they're going to him as the go-to player.
He is everywhere. Simon Goodwin has just been the captain's game from Goodwin. Disciplined, smart, and clever. Daniel Kerr's busy. So too Prittis. Eagles running numbers to the outer side. Hunter. Thought about going back through the middle. Short. Now Lynch is within range.
Just seem to be playing with far more flow and, I guess, poise, the Eagles, in this quarter. But they've been lifted by... Embley's had a good quarter with 6 possessions. Matty Prittis has worked hard. 8. Kerr's worked hard with 7. I think Marston's had his best term also. He's had 5 possessions in this term.
And the man with the football's coming up for his 8th.
Well, the big fellow has given them a target.
Yep.
And they've been able to hit that target with much better foot skills.
We know how far he can kick. Kicks from inside the centre square. Just pushes it across the front. Still alive, though. Marston, smothered. Waters. Eagles are still going. Prittis hooks it back. It's play on from there. Adelaide with some numbers, but it falls to Cox. He wanted an option. He couldn't get it. Symes. Thompson came in to lend a hand. The smother was from Ebert, and West Coast still with an opportunity.
And whilst Hansen hasn't really had a great contribution this quarter, Shuri, there's no doubt that taking him or taking him back there has allowed Quentin Lynch to, I guess, play quite well up the ground.
And it's taken Bock out of the game too.
Not a lot of time left for the West Coast Eagles to try and pinch one before three-quarter time. There is Hansen. 60 metres out from the West Coast goal. Stenglein going nowhere.
Just the one player, Jared, that you love, Brett Jones. He's probably been the one winner for the West Coast, other than Kerr and maybe Cox in midfield. But he's played on Brett Burton, who kicked 5 goals last week.
To centre wing, 2-on-1 for West Coast. Hearn. Siren sounds. They've drawn the call to the West Coast Eagles. They haven't made any inroad to an Adelaide Crows lead. 13-6-84, West Coast 7-5. It's a good lead for Adelaide Crows. Shorey, they're still in control of this game.
Well, they withstood the pressure, didn't they? They came out in the West Coast Eagles. We said they had to kick 2 quick goals in that 5-minute period. It didn't come about, Matty.
Adelaide looking for their first win of the season. It looks good for them. We'll be back with the last quarter right after this.
Captured SsangYong Superpower Rexton SPR with world-class features including 7 seats, leather, climate air, T-Tronic Auto, 18-inch alloys, safety with ESP, front and side airbags, ABS, hill descent and traction control, anti-rollover protection, reverse parking sensors, and with SsangYong's eco-friendly diesel-powered technology. SsangYong, Australia's only 100% pure diesel range.
It's a good time for McDonald's.
You're not the only one who's changed. At McDonald's, we only make your burger when you order. It's as fast as ever and it tastes even fresher. McDonald's is making your burger better than ever.
Roll the 6 and you're gone. I'm out.
Not necessarily, Stephen. I can still see options on the board. At St George, we'd suggest that we sell your house on Fleet Street and 2 of your utilities to maximise your savings and lower your overheads, and make some smaller payments as you pass go.
Excellent.
Earthquake. It takes a special kind of person to work at St George, one who always goes above and beyond to give you the best service possible. St George, good with people, good with money.
Hey Brody, how are you supposed to know if it's true love?
It's easy. You just use the love calculator. You simply send the word rate, your name and your partner's name to 19 18 18. They calculate exactly your compatibility. Then you'll know if you should stay with Mr. Right or stop wasting time with that loser.
So I would send the word rate, my name's Suze, and my dream partner's name Tom to 19 18 18.
Oh, bad luck, Tom.
Well, have you ever wanted to know if your partner's cheating? Well, I know how to find out, and it's easy with the cheat meter. Just SMS the word cheat, your name and your lover's name to 19 18 18 and get the answer instantly.
Right. Oh, jeez. Tom has really dropped the ball. Okay. I've got something even better. Do you like fortune cookies?
Yes, I do.
Well, I've got a way we can get your own personal fortune cookie sent straight to your mobile phone in one SMS. You simply type the word luck and your name. So it's luck and Brody to 19 18 18 and get your own personal fortune.
Cool. That's such a great way to find out where I'm heading, and it's so easy. Give me a go.
Saturday night AFL. Freo step in the ring with the #1 contender as the top of the ladder Hawks size up Subi. Don't you love him? Fremantle Hawthorn 7:30 tonight, live on Fox Sports 1.
This NRL season, anything could happen.
Can you see every game in that? Every week?
Look at this! What a shot! But only one team will go beyond.
Is there anybody out there?
To cover all the action.
What do the stars say about 2008?
Interesting. Seeing clouds building.
A storm in a teacup.
Because if you want more than just predictions...
Salary cap. Stripping the ball. Golden points.
Oh, yeah!
Rattle tackle. Yelly hymns. What's gonna happen?
Anything could happen, but only one thing's for sure. You'll see it all with Fox Sports.
Well, Peter can go here. Takes a bounce. Takes 2. 40 metres out. On the rebound. Oh, they celebrate hard.
It's all been good news for the Adelaide Crows so far today, Jared. In that third quarter, we thought perhaps some bad news for Kurt Tippett. With that, he went off after that contest.
Well, we're seeing hopefully the emergence of a real star, but the look of that was pretty ordinary, and yet you said they were the best in the business, Matty. Let's just hope that this means that no cruciate ligament damage, just a bit of a strain at the back of the knee. But what has brought great relief to all and sundry here in front of 38,000 people is that Kurt Tippett has been out, as you see, at three-quarter time. He's wearing a bit of a bandage, and he looks like he may even take further part. Rowan Smith has been chatting to their doctor. Have they cleared cruciate ligament damage, Smithy?
Yes, Jared, I went over to their huddle and they definitely have cleared cruciate ligament damage. They said that he'll be fine. He was okay. They've heavily strapped the left knee, as you could see. And he was out there and he was talking and he was jovial, and all the boys were rapt to see him out there.
Well, that's fantastic news for the competition, because we are seeing a young man who has got a potential to really dominate, as Simon Goodwin has done so far in this match. Sure, you reckon he's one of the best on the ground, and it'd be hard to argue.
Well, I think he has been. 3 goals, and I think he's been assisted probably 4 other shots at goal. And it's just the way he's led from about 20 metres out. They've used him beautifully. Look, they've had some great players. Paul Pleasure, he's kicked his 2. I love the way that he plays the game. And as you said, Kurt Tippett, to see a player go down there, I'm rapt, because I think he will be a player of the future. He could be a key forward or a mobile ruckman. And I don't know about playing any more part in this game. I think I might just put him on ice, Jared, unless they think that he being out there means that they might stop a comeback from the West Coast Eagles. I don't think that'll occur.
Just having a look at those numbers, the clearances completely favoured the West Coast Eagles. They've got the dominant big man on the ground, which helps. But they've also got the likes of Daniel Kerr, who's better than most in the competition at clearances. But it just reconfirms that they're not getting their goals and their dominance so much from I guess, stoppages. They are just running the ball from defence and keeping the ball when they win it.
I think it just shows you if you win the clearances, if you haven't got a forward who can mark the ball, what's it matter? And if the defence of the opposition's a lot better and they sweep the ball out and, you know, just attack from there, well, I just think that's been the problem with West Coast Eagles, their forward line. And there's Kurt Tippett running up and down.
That little shimmy was for you. He wants to get back out on the ground. He doesn't want to put it in cotton wool.
Well, if he wants to impress me, I'd like to see him impress me by sitting on his backside, having a quarter off and then playing next week.
Bit of noise from the Adelaide crowd. I know their team is right in the box seat here. It would be a remarkable turnaround for the West Coast Eagles. But let's see how they attack. There's the opening few minutes in this final term.
Stenglein, Kerr, Prittis and Cox. Paul Pleasure, Tyson Edwards, Griffin and Doughty in the middle. And if the Eagles have any chance, they have to win the ball from the centre and get it into their forward line really efficiently.
Away in the last term, Griffin over the top, straight to Thompson, clearance for Adelaide. Stevens on hands and knees and battling hard. Spills out to McKay. McGregor went off the ground, almost got boot to ball. Thompson did. Adelaide persist. Hearn.
This is
right with
a really good battle, this one. Hearn and Goodwin.
Jericho in and under. Glass, the Dow defender. Hands free. Braun. Nope, that's not going to his teammate Jones where he intended.
Oh, that just showed the day. Braun has never been given any space all day. Hasn't had an impact on the game. Just the numbers at the contest. Adelaide's won most of the time, other than 5 or 7 minutes in the third quarter.
Prittis from the congestion. Symes picked it up well. McKay. Paul Pleasure. Measured pass to Goodwin. And he continues to put himself up for some votes, certainly in the eyes of Tony Shaw.
See, the way that Simon Goodwin's played, I cannot believe that his opposition haven't said, I'm going to play 5 metres in front of him, kick it over my head and let him jump on my shoulders. But they've given him the space in front every time. Good players can pick it up all the time.
10 marks. He's kicked 3-3. This for 4. Distance, no problem. Neither is the accuracy. He's a star.
Is this the new Mark Pursuto, Jared?
I was going to say there's always going to be a real challenge to fill the shoes of Varoo. But didn't seem all that difficult in the finish. No offence, Root, because Simon Goodwin's just gone down there and done exactly the same thing.
The assist from Paul Pleasure, he's impressive, isn't he?
He is very impressive. And you know what? I just love that they're going to have a number of players now who can go down. They know Edwards kicked 3 last week. They can put Paul Pleasure down there and take marks.
It's been a great afternoon for Simon Goodwin. 43 points is the margin. Cox, the bounce favours him. Prittis is a go-to man there to Kerr.
Good clearance.
Braun, they work it nicely. It ends up with Selwood on the left boot. Making good position was Rutten. Lynch though, Prittis kept running. Runs onto it to 45 and sprays it. Getting a lot of the footy though. Matt Prittis, 25 disposals now.
Well, if that had gone through, it would have been the Eagles' best passage of play for the day. Good clearance, took 3 or 4 possessions to get it going, but they brought the ball back into the corridor and had a legitimate shot at goal.
Symes works it wider to Thompson. The run is supplied by Bassett, and they quickly move it to the wing. It's a mongrel of a kick from a Bassett hound. Goodwin involved again. Jericho on the lead in front of Glass. Hard man to beat in this situation, the All-Australian fullback. Jericho comes away with it. Looks up, spots a player inside. Too much on the kick. Jones to mark for West Coast. Straight up the middle. Fletcher to Prittis. Braun helping out.
Second guessed each other there.
Just communication. Paul Pleasure to clean up. Here you go, Adelaide. Will he get it back? McGregor. Well, he went to a one-on-one contest. Not the best option. Jericho keeps it alive. Paddles it down for Stevens. Tries to palm off Hunter. Glass Dower again. Stenglein was good. Jones kept his head, and West Coast will get out of trouble there. Selwood back through the middle. Wanted Braun, gave it up. Free kick Adelaide. The crowd don't know it's theirs yet. Now they realise that they're happy. Massey to McLeod. Here he goes. 60 metres. Heads to the square. No one there except Dean Cox. Glass again. Share it around. Eventually Cox goes to Selwood. It's coming back.
Again, Neil Craig wouldn't mind this. They wouldn't mind Dean Cox having 3 possessions in a row because he's not getting through forward 50 to kick goals to get him back in the game. This is just cheap possession stuff.
It's given Adelaide time to man up too. And Cox has turned it over. Neil Craig would be ecstatic with the way it panned out. Here's Paul Pleasure again. Goodwin.
Oh.
He can play on and kick a goal. No. Jones quick to get back. Goodwin. And these two are just sharing it, aren't they? Paul Pleasure, in turn, Burton.
And Jones is filthy, and he's got every right to be filthy because he covered
everybody.
Simon Goodwin. He charged across, and yet nobody picked up his man, and he's had his measure. And defenders, if they've got a bloke as good as Brett Burton and they've got their scalp, they don't want him to get away with a couple of nice, easy ones late in the game. So I reckon he'd be having something to say at the defenders' meeting later in the week.
Here's Burton for his second. Well, it doesn't come any straighter than that. They have doubled their score.
Well, they've just worked harder, haven't they? They've worked harder, they've had numbers, they've had class finishes, Paul Pleasure. Goodwin on the end of it, and here he is again.
So he was covering probably for Shannon Hearn there. Now, that doesn't mean just specifically Shannon Hearn has to pick his man up.
No.
But there's his man, and he was just absolutely filthy and remonstrated and let his teammates know. They let him down.
5 last week, 2 this week. Adelaide continue to rack up the points. 123 last week, and Neil Craig said yes, very happy with that. Not happy with what happened at the other end. Well, they'd be very happy with the fact that West Coast have only managed to score 48. And Cox is getting it at the moment, but he's given it up again. Symes. Douglas is pushed out of it by Staker on the up to Prittis. Not sure about that. Symes wants the free and gets it.
I like this kid too. I don't know how quick he is. He looks like he's got plenty of time with the ball. He might be quicker than what you think, Jared, but that poise that he's got, I just love to see a player of that age and the way that he plays.
20 games with Port Adelaide, and he's racked up 20 disposals today. Bock. Paul Pleasure.
Oh, that's beautiful play.
He goes straight down the corridor, Paul Pleasure, doesn't he? Burton, anti-climax for the Crows fans. Ebert to Kerr. Little 1-2 is going to put Ebert under pressure. Doughty arrives, tackles, is rewarded, holding the ball, advantage. McGregor, no, coming back. Well, it's a goal. No, it's a point.
It's a one rule in our game, the advantage rule, isn't it? If the umpire can be trained not to blow the whistle and wait until it happens, but they're trained the other way, so I don't know, it confuses a lot of people.
There's the free. Doughty is rewarded.
No doubt about that.
Yep.
1-2 steps, prior opportunity.
And skipping through. Here is the pass, and eventually it ends up, guess who? Simon Goodwin. What I like, Tony, is he's presents hard and fast out in front, and they continue to say, well, you keep coming, we'll keep kicking it to you.
Look, that's fantastic, but I cannot believe the positioning of the defenders who play against him. He's been on the lead. I'm trying to, how many marks would he have taken? He's taken
11.
11 marks, and you allow him to still have the space in front. Go and play 5 metres in front and say, kick it over my head. I cannot believe it.
That was the dozen. That was his 12th. It just ticked over. Another goal to Goodwin.
So has he won the car?
I think he'll get the car. I'd give him the car.
You're giving the car away today,
No doubt. No doubt. 5 goals, 4 assists. Oh, you name it, he's done it. Getting ugly for the West Coast Eagles, isn't it? That lack of work ethic, or, gee, I know Johnny Worsfold wouldn't be happy with that. Or lack of leg speed, it's showing out either way.
They haven't run as hard, they haven't tackled as hard, and their disposals let them down badly. It's been a shocker for the Eagles.
Those numbers tell the story quite impressively for the Adelaide Crows captain. The new Roo. 102 to 48. The ton's up for Adelaide. Staker comes in quickly. Ebert, Kerr, shows him how to do it. There's the advantage. Now hooks it back. Straight to Adelaide. Edwards. Breaks. Saw Burton cutting back to the middle. Jones.
Pressure.
Griffin did enough as he was going to ground to get it to Edwards. Thompson will get a free too high. Spins out of it, gave it to McLeod. He saw out the corner of his eye Bernie Vince from 40 metres. It deserves a goal, and it is a goal. Wonderful stuff from Adelaide.
Like Scotty Thompson's game, he's worked really hard over the last 12 months or so. Just tailed off a bit last year. But he had a very impressive pre-season, and he's had a most impressive afternoon today, Shuri.
Well, he was just strong in the tackle there, but the thing I loved, he just kept playing on because everybody relaxed once the whistle went when they knew he got the free kick. Bernie Vince, good finisher. Andrew McLeod, what a sensational handball under pressure.
2 goals to young Bernie Vince. That a beautiful team goal with some wonderful vision from both Thompson and McLeod. Coming into this game, he only had 2 goals in his short career. He's doubled it. It's party time for Adelaide. They lead by 10 goals, and they're hungry for more.
Well, they reckon the Snags have gone out in the car park and they've got the caviar in now, Jared. Would you hear that from a Adelaide crowd?
Well, I think they should they'd be justified in celebrating because this has been a fantastic victory.
Here they go again. Goodwin. Juggling it, hooking around the body. Will it get to McGregor? Hunter there first. To Embley. Prittis. Almost run down. Got his kick away. Hanson presents. Strong mark.
Haven't seen enough of that at all today.
Embley. Selwood. This is where they break down. They're just unsure. They're not incisive with their run. It's stand to deliver from Seaby. Big punch McLeod. Coming through Graham. Thompson riding him. Throwing him to the ground. Lynch spinning out. Waters just gave it to Stengline. Again, West Coast go forward. Hanson's got back. Went without it. Rutten didn't. And some hard running required here. Big Griffin.
This is good athleticism from Griffin. Great to see. I mean, he's been thrown a challenge today. Dean Cox has got a stack of it, but he hasn't embarrassed himself.
3-on-1 West Coast. Amazingly, they've given up a free kick. And guess who?
The bloke of the car.
He's going to drive Adelaide home.
Now a Merck, I don't know, Lamborghini.
The umpires are all over this at the moment.
Yeah. That's twice Nikoski's been pinged for that.
We'll put a package together of people getting dragged and scragged and blocked at stoppages, which that wasn't, but it was close enough too.
Gee, John Worsfold would be very unhappy to see that. 3-on-1. They've got all the numbers in their favour, and Nikoski gives away a silly free kick. Simon Goodwin lining up for 6. Yes, indeed.
Oh, well, I don't know what his greatest return is. Matty, you might be able to tell us, Simon Goodwin, how many goals he's kicked in one game. But, gee, I love that athleticism as you talked about, Jared. Just to take it on, run with the ball late in the game. He doesn't look like a ruckman, does he? He doesn't run like a ruckman.
He's very well balanced. I like the kicking action. He could be a Dean Cox if he works hard enough.
But, gee, Nikoski there, I don't know. Simon just overplayed it, but arm across the shoulder.
Simon Goodwin with the best performance by an Adelaide Crow against the West Coast Eagles, surpassing the great Tony Modra.
Oh, great company there.
Who kicked 6 in 1993. 6-3 to Simon Goodwin. 114 to 48. And that total is building as Jericho bangs it forward. Burton there. Douglas to keep it in for Adelaide. Not 15, poor Pleasure. Spots Burton, who went to the square. Got it.
Oh, this is ugly.
Sure, I'll give you a moment's notice, but the microscope will go on the Eagles, no doubt, throughout the week, particularly in Perth. I want you to tell me which players won't be under the microscope from the Eagles.
Okay. I don't think I need a lot of time on that one.
Neither did Brett Burton as he bangs through another one. He's got 3.
Well, as I look at it this way, there's a number of players who you're not talking about stars, but Daniel Cura, of course, you would think. I think Stenglein, Nikoski's efforts today, Fletcher, they all look slow. They're all second to the ball. Bo Waters, I think he'd be okay. Michael Braun. Michael Braun's coming to a stage of his career when things might be on the other side of it. Matty Prentice would be right. McNamara and Maston are young. Seaby, no doubt, some of their key position. Hansen, pretty ordinary performances today.
Still half of this final quarter remaining, and it's a rout.
It is. I think they'll be looking at their structure too, Shuri. They've got to change the mix. I know they had a good win last week against Brisbane, and so a lot of this will be put down to just one of those weeks.
Vince, growing in stature. Oh, this man is as tall as it gets.
But on this big Amy Stadium, which they will have to, I guess, play on a similar ground, the home ground for most of the season, they just have looked completely out of their depth in the running department. Now, a lot of that will stem from just attitude going in. They haven't worked anywhere near hard enough, and the Crows have been as good as you can get in that department.
I think they're too big at the moment for this ground and the speed of this game.
I think the midfield pace is a concern.
Yep.
Good one. Oh. Lucky 7 in a PB.
Tony Modra, who?
Who's Tony? Simon Goodwin rocketing himself to the top of the leading goal kicker list almost.
Oh, gee, I tell you what, they've had problems with match-up on this man all day. But look, when you get supply like it's happening now, this is the practice game. And this would really hurt Johnny Worsfold, one of the best competitors you'd ever want to play. Well, you didn't want to play against him, Jared, because he was so competitive. But it would be hurting just seeing the efforts here of some of his senior players.
It's raining goals at Amy Stadium. We expected some rain early. We didn't get it. It's been raining goals for that man. Another opponent, this time Nikoski. 20 goals, 6 to 7-6.
Play on, you're holding each other all ears. Play on.
The clearance, though, this time for West Coast, but in front, Bock. It's his best game disposal-wise in his career. The record's being broken everywhere at the moment as McLeod wants Jonathan Griffin. He wants the ball. Here comes McLeod. He kept going.
We held our breath there, didn't we? Please keep it in.
Don't be filthy down there in defence. Haven't had any of the action for the last 15 minutes.
Just over 38,000 people here. So it's a little bit lower. I'm surprised it's not full, but they have enjoyed a wonderful afternoon from the Adelaide Crows. On barbecue day, they've gone from snags and hamburgers, and they've broken out the crayfish from the southeast.
Yeah, I think they've had a big shipment in from over at Streaky Bay, possibly. But what was really ironic is that talking to the locals before the match, they were the ones who were talking their chances down.
Yeah, it's been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah, most people around the rest of Australia thought there were good things coming here.
Oh, there's a little bit of sharing going on, a little bit arrogant, but why not when they're playing so well down in their back six? Vince gets it from John Cock.
Might be Port Lincoln for the Crows over here. Streaky
Road.
Bay.
Road.
Is it the Razor Fish at Streaky Bay?
I don't know about Streaky Bay. Road for the Crays and Port Lincoln for the Tuna. There's Nikoski. Hasn't enjoyed a great day. Just the 11 disposals. Cox palming it down towards Kerr. We'll go again.
I tell you what, the Adelaide Crows, it's a bit like they've claimed their midfielders too, Jared. When you think of the names, we know about their good players. You know, as you know, Scotty Thompson, well, we put him in that good Van Burlow, Dowdy, Symes as a youngster, Vince, Jericho. They're all very similar types, hard runners, hard workers.
Well, coming into the match, they were exposed to some degree because no Knights. Chris Knights, I think, is going to be a really good player. And Brent Riley, who we spoke to at three-quarter time, also missing. But they have been able to cover it. Jericho's been pretty handy. They certainly haven't lacked any run through the middle of the ground. Massey also, sorry, Matto. Yep. Massey came in. He's done a job.
Done a job, all right.
And next week, Matt, it's the big showdown.
Well, it's the showdown here, and it's the performance that puts him in great stead for that game, doesn't it?
And, of course, it's the derby over in WA.
Fremantle will be looking at this going, oh, bring it on. They've still got Hawthorn to get through, but they enjoy the derby.
I think Fremantle should learn from this, though. Watching how the leg speed was an issue, you keep playing young kids with enthusiasm, a lot of rotations. Keep the speed factor into the game against the West Coast Eagles.
Rutten back to John Cock. To McKay. Van Burlow provides some run. Almost to the advantage of Jericho.
Oh. Well, it was there, and Nikoski has just had a really undisciplined game. He's just let himself down. He's a very good player.
Yeah.
50 metres.
First half, he was given the job on McLeod. But then on the boundary line, the bat phone's gone off. Rowan Smith.
Well, Jared, just the man of the moment, Simon Goodwin, has come on for a well-earned rest. Had a pretty big smile on his face as he come off too, boys.
Neil Craig, what a party poop. He's only got 7.
He's only got 7. Burton's kicked 2 in this last quarter. He's off as well.
Smithy, have you seen it at boundary line level?
Look, the way that the Crows have won the ball down, their defence has just been unbelievable. You know, you can see John Cock, McLeod, Rutten, Bassett, Bock, those guys. They've really set up the play today, and they've just played some magnificent footy.
As you'd expect, all credit to the half-back line from Rowan Smith.
McGregor for the Adelaide's 21st goal, their highest score against the West Coast Eagles.
Well, Neil Craig said he wanted to score a lot more. He was worried about his defence last week. Well, it hasn't been a problem. They've kept the opposition to 7 goals and kicked 21 themselves, 3 more than last week. I keep saying, and Lee Matthews, you know, probably people say one of the greatest coaches of all time, Jared. He said if you kick 18 goals, or 16, 18 goals, you win 85% of your game. Every goal underneath that, your percentage comes down the same amount.
Yeah.
The records continue to tumble. They're all academic, the statistics now. It's just a brilliant performance by the Crows. And one that the West Coast will want to forget pretty quickly. 6.5 minutes remaining. Adelaide will be eyeing off a couple more as Kerr gets the clearance. Awkward bounce. Waters breaks onto his left and measures the pass to Hearn, who can go back and have a shot on goal and finally get one against the run of play. They're down by 84.
84 points. I'm in shock. I really am in shock. But look, they set it up brilliantly early. And Shannon Hearn, who I think's got to be pushed up the ground a little bit more. I think he's a dangerous player. If he gets the ball anywhere within 60 metres, you know he's going to make the distance. He might be that good one going the other end. Whether he's got the engine to do it in the middle, we'd have to wait and see, but they've got to try something.
Hearn's kick, just the wrong side of the post. 8 goals to 2 behinds in this final term.
Well, he gives great run off the half-back line, sure, and I guess if you take that away, you've got to ask who else have you got to replace him with, but there's no doubt that he's got the capacity to play middle, and I think the balance of the side looks to me as if they need to have him in the middle to get that bit of extra leg speed.
West Coast free kick as McKay was on the burst for Adelaide. It's Hunter who'll take it. To Waters. Embley. Sells the dummy and goes long, hoping. Staker at the back, in the best position. Got it, plays on, and breaks the run of 8 for Adelaide.
Well, it was a great passage of play. Smart play by Embley. Sold the dummy, got the ball in long. Here it is. And on the end of it is Brent Staker, who's sure he's really on the verge of either fulfilling his, I guess, potential.
Yep.
Or becoming a good ordinary player.
I think Staker, Graham, and probably Seaby are nearly in the same category, Jared, as players on the edge.
Should be better than a good ordinary player, Brent Staker. He's got enormous potential, ability, athletic gifts. And he's been about the same mark for about 2 or 3 years.
Answering goal for West Coast. Get some pride back on the scoreboard, but gee, it's 77 points. Kerr will not stop trying, we know that. Priddis slips it out to Jones. Fletcher going back to Wembley. Pushing hard and running hard to the wing was Braun, told to run on by Waters. Almost gave away a free kick in his Shepherd. Cox paddled it down. Gee, that was clever, Rutten. Big man got down low to trap it, to Bock, to John Cock. A little bit of hang time there was a bit of a concern, but now McLeod goes. Up the middle they go. Edwards. Slipped and gave it away. Seaby on the way back has missed Hansen. Bassett will clean up. Should have scored there, West Coast. Bock to the outer side, and perhaps Adelaide go the other way. Massey to McKay or Edwards, take your pick. The senior player calls the junior out. Symes, McLeod. Back to Symes. On the lead, Jericho. Staker got an arm in, did enough to bring it to ground. Jones backs himself. He's a very good player. Hansen just can't do anything right at the moment. And Nathan Bock. Yes, Nathan Bock. Running hot. He's on fire. 32 disposals. Do not adjust your set. It's Nathan Bock with 32 disposals.
Well, I reckon the last, and maybe the only centre-half back to ever get 31 or average around the 30s was Paul Rubenberger.
Ross Glendinning used to get a few possessions.
Yeah, he's high. 30 is enormous.
That is.
I mean, even if you took off 5 or 6 from chips sideways, etc., that is still an amazing turnaround. And he has belted his opponent.
Well, exactly. Ashley Hansen has hardly touched the ball. But the other thing about it, Bock being able to run away, you've got to ask what's happening with Hansen's defensive abilities. Whether he's capable of running to do that job.
Every single player for the Eagles has touched it more than Hansen.
No, come out, players.
Stenglein surveys what's ahead and chips it short. Jones, nice take.
15, yes, there.
It's all academic, really. It's just the West Coast playing out time. Staker got it from Seaby and they wax. Marston, Nikoski, hooking back and hooking high. Griffin got back to help out. Here's where Punda, roving. And just the wrong side of the post. Bassett to bring it in for Adelaide.
I'll take it.
And standing on the apex and trying to keep it in and being successful. Umpire in perfect position.
Good kick.
Yeah. Okay.
We have that now.
To John Cock.
Thanks, David, to there.
They're building a formidable list, aren't they, the Adelaide Crows? When you think of the names that, like Nick Gill played some pretty good footy last year. He's a strong worker. Trent Henschel, Chris Knights, Ivan Merritt, we know has played at this level. Brent Riley, we know, has had injured. And Robert Shirley, who was dropped. So a bit of depth too in this club.
Embley forcing it forward. Strong mark. Wonderful mark by Rutten. It's been a rock down back and he's had plenty of friends. One of them, McLeod. Searching pass for Massey. Kept his feet, did well. Happy to take it over.
Had a good game, Chris Massey. I think a couple of times in the game. There's Nick Gill in the crowd. As I said, had a fairly good year last year. He could play key position.
Hearn, who wears the same number. bangs it forward. On hands and knees, Messi. Well, he must have got a call back there from Bock, but there was a couple of Eagles there. One of them is big Quentin Lynch. Left boot, right to the line. Just enough, John Cock. Started the game brilliantly, John Cock. Has ended up with 24 disposals. And gives it over to Rutten. There's Adelaide. McLeod coming up for disposal, 31 if he can keep it in. With so much time. Measures the pass. Good attack on the ball by Douglas. Spills free. Adelaide a chance, another Jericho on the leg. Well done, young Douglas. Jericho has 1 goal. As the clock ticks down inside the last minute. Just enough there by Douglas with Jones approaching. Kept it going Adelaide's way. Luke Jericho for his second and Adelaide's 22nd. Across the face. Blocked their copybook for this last term. Previous best win by the Adelaide Crows over West Coast, 75. And just ahead of that at the moment. Waters spills it. Had an enormous amount of time. Stenglein. Here is Braun running down the wing, bouncing, going long, but going nowhere.
Fence is superb.
The Adelaide Crows have broken their West Coast Eagles hoodoo. They have squared their ledger for this season. Importantly, they have set themselves up for a real crack at the showdown.
Yeah, and they've undone the hoodoo in emphatic style, led by their captain, Simon Goodwin, who I'm sure we'll talk to in just a minute. But Shorey, that was just a total domination. Couldn't see that one coming. Thought the Eagles had come here and really put up a big show. But right from the very first minute, it was John Cock and McLeod sweeping the ball forward, and it was Goodwin at the top, and it was dominating. They've got some young kids also. They were most impressive, and Neil Craig would be a very relieved man, I think, after the disappointment of what was a very close loss last week. He has got his side to respond emphatically. You just couldn't see a 13-plus goal, a 13-goal victory. But down on the ground, here he is, the new Roo, Simon Goodwin with Rowan Smith.
He is the new Roo, boys, but Simon, 5 minutes to go, you kicked 7. Did you want to come off?
It's getting a bit tired, but no, it's just a good day out. You know, the boys played exceptional footy, and you know, it's just great to kick so many goals. That's what we're priding ourselves on this year, plenty of attack, and that's a great scoreline for us.
You would have been happy with the supply?
Absolutely. You know, some of the young kids that we've got going through that midfield, their skills are really good today, and you know, full credit to them for bouncing back from last week.
I was going to ask you about the kids. What about Jason Portlease? He's a superstar, isn't he?
He's a star. You know, his ability to take the ball below his knees is exceptional, and his kicks unbelievable. So he's a player that's a real star of the future.
West Coast had the wood on you, not anymore, but did you speak about that during the week?
Oh, you know, we talked about as a footy club that we need to address certain things. You know, when we play West Coast, you know, they've beaten us the last 5 times, and you know, as a footy club, you can't accept that. So we talked about it long and hard, and you know, it's just great for these guys to get the result.
Well, mate, 7 goals, going ice the hammy.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Well, Simon Goodwin, he's enjoying being the skipper, but what a great individual performance. But as he mentioned, getting great supply from a new-look midfield.
Yeah, they've thrown around, and I think they've been true to the fact that they're going to rely on the youth or the younger players in this squad, because they had McLeod across half-back, and he was one of the best 4 or 5 players on the ground. Tyson Edwards went down there occasionally. But Scotty Thompson, I think, well, he was a very good player, as was Nathan Bock. Ross Glendenning would have been proud of that, as would Paul Roos across half-back. He had 32 possessions, and here he is with Rowan Smith.
Well, Nath, a bit of a low last week, missing the goal, but today come out, have 32 possessions, playing down the back. Sensational effort.
Yeah, no, it was good. Obviously, a lot of disappointment after last weekend's effort, but no, the boys really turned it around, and you know, we played some really attacking footy today, and yeah, it's just good to respond in that way.
You played good attacking footy last week, kicking 18 goals, but today as well, you kicked 21 goals, but also kept West Coast only 8.
Yeah, I think last week our goal kicking probably let us down. We missed a few easy goals, which, you know, generally you'd like to kick. But this week, obviously the goal kicking was a lot more accurate, so that's obviously helped us.
But keeping them only to 8 goals, that was a good effort as well.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Our defence all over the ground was superb, so it's a real credit to the boys, and hopefully we can keep pushing on in that way.
Go and enjoy the win.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
All the Crows head to all corners of this ground to thank their fans. They came here for the footy barbecue and they cooked the West Coast Eagles.
Well, they did. And just to think that 4 of their defenders amassed 109 possessions, you're thinking, did they swap ends? Is that where they... Look, their defence was just brilliant today to keeping West Coast Eagles to 8 goals. West Coast Eagles were slow in the midfield. They got Kerr and Cox. They've just got to carry so much of a load, but they did not have a key forward who stood up today. That's their issue at the moment. They've got to get a better balance, Jared, right across the board, because they look top-heavy.
Most of all, they've got to come to a game switched on. They weren't, and they were exposed badly today, and they'll have to live with the embarrassment of this performance for the next 7 days at least.
It's going to be a long trip home for the West Coast Eagles, but it's going to be a good night of celebration for the Adelaide Crows. What a performance. They have flogged the West Coast by 76 points.
Celebrate the most classic British comedy film collection of all time.
Oh, hello.
The Carry On Collection. With every issue, get a classic Carry On movie on DVD.
Oh, what a lovely looking pair.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Plus a full-colour magazine featuring the stories, the scandals, and the sauce. Start your classic Carry On collection now with Carry On Camping, issue 1, out now.
Hey Brody, how are you supposed to know if it's true love?
It's easy. You just use the love calculator. You simply send the word rate, your name and your partner's name to 19 18 18. They calculate exactly your compatibility. Then you'll know if you should stay with Mr. Right or stop wasting time with that loser.
So I would send the word rate, my name's Suze, and my dream partner's name Tom to 19 18 18.
Oh, bad luck, Tom.
Well, have you ever wanted to know if your partner's cheating? Well, I know how to find out, and it's easy with the cheat meter. Just SMS the word cheat, your name and your lover's name to 19 18 18 and get the answer instantly.
Right. Oh, jeez. Tom has really dropped the ball. Okay. I've got something even better. Do you like fortune cookies?
Yes, I do.
Well, I've got a way we can get your own personal fortune cookie sent straight to your mobile phone in one SMS. You simply type the word luck and your name. So it's luck and Brody to 19 18 18 and get your own personal fortune.
Cool. That's such a great way to find out where I'm heading, and it's so easy. Give me a go.
It's Toyotathon time with massive discounts across the Toyota range. For 1 month only, you don't have to buy a whole fleet of Toyotas to get big business Gold Fleet pricing. Everyone gets big business discounts on all new Toyotas built before January 08. Every vehicle with this red spot offers huge savings. Toyotathon only happens once a year, so buy before March 31 and save. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
This weekend, Barclays Premier League, live on Fox Sports. And he has given Arsenal the lead. Sunday morning, 2 a.m, viewers' choice. 5 games live all at one time. Match of the day, Bolton face Arsenal. Then at 4:10, top spot Man U meet Aston Villa. Sunday night, chasing Chelsea host Middlesbrough. Then it's Newcastle away to Tottenham. 2 a.m, it's the massive Merseyside derby. Liverpool take on Everton. Barclays Premier League, live on Fox Sports.
They say people don't believe in heroes anymore. Believe this. A new age has dawned. A new hero has arrived. The Stoner Age is upon us, and Casey's time is now.
A brilliant race from the Australian. He claims the first win of 2008.
Next, Casey looks to continue his reign on the plains of Spain. MotoGP from Spain, 7:45 Sunday night, live, Fox Sports 2.
I am Richo. I'm Jonathan Brown.
I am Sean Higgins.
I'm Gary Ablett Sr. I'm Gary Ablett Jr.
I am the great Ron Barassi.
I'm The Wiz. I am Nick Rewards Curry.
I'm Daniel Kerr's Blistering Speed.
With 4 live games every round, replays and classic matches, you can see all your AFL heroes in one place this season. Fox Sports AFL.
believe it or not, but the margin in the finish was 76 points, the good of the Adelaide Crows, who came into this game without a win in the season, having gone down to the Bulldogs by a couple of points last week. But in the end, they've kicked 21 goals, 7. Magnificent kicking, magnificent footy, in fact. 133 to the West Coast Eagles, who struggled all day, 8-9-57. It was a one-sided affair, and they were well led by Simon Goodwin. He kicked 4 goals a couple of times, but a PB today with 7 goals. Burton well held, but still got 3 goals. Paul Pleaser was a star with 2, and David Wirrapunda was the only multiple goal kicker for the West Coast Eagles with just the 2 goals. I'm not sure what constitutes a flogging, Shuri, but Matty called it that, and I think anything over 10 goals is probably justifiably so.
Well, I thought it was a bit harsh with the flogging term, but he's right. It was just pretty ordinary from West Coast Eagles' point of view, but sensational football. As you see, great accuracy in their kicking with the Crows, and Neil Craig has got everything he wanted this week. Last week he said they kicked enough goals, their defence wasn't good enough. Their defence was sensational. 110 possession between 4 players in their defence half, Jared. That just shows not enough pressure. And then to kick 21 goals, he must be cock-a-hoop tonight.
As we take a look at the match stats, Shuri, I want to ask you about handballs. I think handball was used by the West Coast over the last 3 or 4 years to unwind the Adelaide Crows. But today, to me, it almost reflects the match. Too many handballs, too slow into the forward line, maybe a reflection of pressure.
Well, the thing about handball is you handball to take the pressure off the ball. What happens if you're going forward with that handball, Jared? Well, then you can be attacking. Yeah. But the problem with the West Coast Eagles today, they handball because of the pressure of the Crows. You'll get a stanza of 3 or 4 handballs in a row, but you add another 3 if the pressure's strong enough, and that's that you've got a big chance of turning the ball over, and that's exactly what happened today.
When you think pressure, you think coaches. Well, Rowan Smith is the winning coach, Neil Craig, down in the rooms. Thanks, Rowan.
Thanks, Jared. Well, Neil, what a sensational win.
Yeah, it was a great win for us, Rowan. It's it's been, I think, 7 out of 8 they've beaten us, or 6 out of 7, whatever the case may be. So it's really good for this playing group, which a lot of those guys haven't been part of creating that record, but hopefully they're very much part of stopping it and getting it back on our terms.
Neil, congratulations. Jared Healy and Tony Shaw upstairs. Can I just ask you about the way you won? I remember talking to you in your first year, and you're regarded as a negative coach, a bloke who was trying to, get numbers behind the ball. And you told me on the couch that it was a style of play that you didn't really want to play, that you were working towards something. Did we see the magic? Did we see your game plan in its entirety today?
I think, Jared, there, in all fairness to our club, the way we went about our football, in 2005 and 6, if you look back at the way we played and the scores that we kicked, I think, we were very attacking. 2007, there was, and rightly so, there was a perception that we were negative and couldn't score, and the statistics support that. But if you look at the previous 2 years, it's totally incorrect. So we've created that perception. We've made a statement publicly that we want to be more attacking. We saw a lot of it in the NAB Cup. We saw a great attacking game last week against the Western Bulldogs, but we lost our defensive action. So, to our supporters who are listening, on this telecast tonight, what you saw today is the way we want to play football, which is very attacking, both offensively and very attacking defensively as well.
Now, Neil, the last couple of weeks you've said, or even at the start of the year, that you'll push McLeod forward sometimes, Goodwin, of course, and Edwards. And I think it's great because what happens is I think they're class players, and if they can get 60-odd goals between the 2 or 3 of them, that's fantastic. The better thing about it, though, is I think you're also getting some of those younger players a lot more time in the midfield. And, Paul Pleaser's going to be a star. We all know that. But those type of players, Vince, and you just had those players who could fill in the midfield without the big names today.
Yeah, Tony. I mean, there's 2 things there. First of all, the younger brigade in terms of the midfield are doing a great job, and they have all year in terms from when we first started training, with the toughness of our training and how they've been able to hold up to that. And accepting the responsibility today, particularly the last quarter. I like the way they went about it. You mentioned McLeod, you mentioned Edwards and Goodwin. It's great credit to the senior players, because people think it's just easy for those guys to come out of the midfield and not play a huge amount in there. That takes what's it take? It takes a lot of clear understanding about what team football's about and how valuable they are to our football club. And you saw it today with the performance of those senior guys, not necessarily in the midfield.
Your kicking skills were superb today, Neil. are you mindful that you'd like to kick the ball more often, get it in more quickly through the foot rather than through handball?
Not necessarily, Jared. You know, hopefully young Kurt Tippett will continue to develop. I haven't checked his injury at the moment, but hopefully he'll continue to develop. So, I mean, with a little bit, once again, our supporters would have seen in an AB Cup, you'd sort of say, well, why wouldn't you want to go to Tippett? You know, because of the size and the talent that he's got. So if he can continue to develop, I think it'll give us a nice option to be able to, you know, pick guys off like Goodwin, Paul Pleasure, Burton, but also have an option long and strong. And that's what we're working towards. We're not there yet, obviously. We're a long way away from that, but, you know, it's nice to have that combination.
We appreciate your time, Neil. No doubt you'll really enjoy this victory. Thanks for your time and well done.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Tony.
Neil Craig, coach of the Adelaide Crows. And I guess the whole town is going to be talking about Simon Goodwin. In fact, the whole footy world will be talking about this performance by Simon Goodwin. We, I guess, tongue-in-cheek called him the new Roo, but this is a superb footballer that's had a brilliant career.
And the thing about it, I don't think the West Coast Eagles players who played on him were switched on. If a player keeps leading you to the ball and taking marks inside 50 and can kick the distance and kick fairly well at goal, you've got to change your positioning. No one played in front of him 5 metres thinking, all right, kick it over my head and see if he can jump on my shoulders. Simon's coming to the end of his career, Jared. I don't know whether he's still got that ability to jump up in the air and jump on top of someone's shoulders. Sensational play, and he will finish his career as a mid-sized forward and also a little bit more in midfield.
And his kicking actually was superb, despite the fact he started with 2 points. You've sung the praises of Jason Paul-Pleasure a number of times. Sure, I think you love him.
I say love too much, I think, in football with this macho industry of ours. But the one thing about it, he's got just soft hands. He's going to get a lot more chance in midfield. He played as a medium forward last year. We know he kicks the ball beautifully. He loves to kick a goal. But I just liken him a little bit to a Greg Williams. Now, that's saying something. He's a long way off of Greg Williams, but he knows how the game's played. He knows how to read the ball. And look at that, just a touch there. He could have kicked it a little bit harder than what he did, but he could see, had the vision downfield, and he found Burton in the square. He is a player of the future, no doubt.
As much as we both played in the middle of the ground, Shuri, I think we're dime a dozen compared to athletic big man. Now, the Crows have got one, and he could well be a star of the future, Kurt Tippett. We saw him do some nice things last week. Better this week, I reckon, again, and went into the ruck and was pretty impressive. But it nearly ended in disaster today.
Yeah, well, look, hopefully everything's going to be all right, Jared. We saw him there just come back onto the ground. They didn't put him back on. No, that was great news because I was happy about athleticism. Put Griffin in that mould too. They've got 2 very young ruckmen who are only going to improve in 3 or 4 years' time, and that's how long it takes ruckmen to do that. Hopefully he'll be right next week, and if it's only a couple of weeks, that'd be great. But, yeah, gee, they have got a future, both ruckmen.
Yes, they have, and that was him just at three-quarter time, just showing us that it wasn't too bad. There was one other game being played. Sure, it was at the MCG, and, well, Melbourne promised that they'd come out firing, but they did it for only the 1 quarter, and in the finish, it was a 95-point victory to the Western Bulldogs, 24-17, 161 to 9-12, 66, a 94-point loss to the Demons. Enjoyed your company today, Shuri, and our barbecue expert, Matthew Campbell. But thanks for your company today. In the finish, it was the Adelaide Crows by 76 points here at Amy.
This has been a Fox Sports production.